Oh, yeah, great. We're back. Okay, sorry about that, folks. As soon as the pre-roll finished, my camera cut out, and I totally disappeared. Anyway, well, thanks for coming, and thanks for putting up for a couple minutes of I'm not sure what was going on, but away we go. I'm excited tonight because, of course, tonight we're going to have Mark Herman on, and we're going to do a teach and play of his game Pacific War. So I'm gonna get through things fairly quickly here, and just so we can get to the good stuff. Let me just find what I'm missing, and then away we'll go. Um, I just have a little bit of news. I'll pull that up. I have to say. I'm I'm getting fairly excited about the fact that I'll be going to San Diego HISCON North in under a month now, so that's pretty exciting. That's my only personal news. I just have a couple of items here because, well, let's get right to it here. First one, I got an email from Sean Drulinger, the designer of Point Blank V for Victory, that I did a live teach and play with him of maybe a year and a half ago, a couple years. Anyway, he wanted me to pass on that at the Lock and Load website, they've posted a new rules reference and a how to play guide. So the how to play guide is pretty straightforward, but the rules reference, what they've done is they haven't changed the rules at all, but they've written basically what amounts to a second rule book, but put it in point form. The feeling being that the original rule book was great for learning the game, but it was not so great as a reference for learning, for if you needed to look something up during the game. So they reformatted the whole rule book to make it as a what do you call it, a resource. So there you go. Yeah, I hope I'm not just visible. I hope I'm audible as well. Okay. Also, got news that Thin Red Line has announced the second game in their C3 series called Dogs of War. This one's centered on the British Army of the Rhine sector. They on their website they posted this picture. This is I guess they have six volumes intended in this series, and each one's pretty big. And I mean, I think they say this with tongue in cheek, that you could, once they get all six out, you could link all six up into some giant monster campaign that, I mean, nobody could ever ever really play, because each of the individual games is big enough on its own. But you know, that's going to tickle the fancy of some of those old Europa players out there who wanted to patch that whole thing up together into one big game. There was also a GMT news newsletter. I'll just hit a couple of things from it. The big news was John Kranz is revitalizing Consim Press. He's changing the name to Consim Games. And it basically it's going to be the same thing that he was doing before. He says the big difference is he's going to try and put out at least 2 games a year, as opposed to one every 3 or 4 years that he'd been doing before. So they've announced a couple games, and they're gonna release them. It's still the same partnership with GMT, where they put them through the GMT P500 system. The first two, the first one is Batan, Vance von Borries game. This is a remake. It's not simply a reprint. This is a game of Vance van Borries. I think he published with Compass maybe in about 2010. This is a redo of that game with a few changes. John Krantz was very clear that that the designer had not just it wasn't a strict reprint. That the map is slightly larger, a couple more rows of hexes on one side for one thing, and then a couple of the mechanics have changed. I think he said there was like 12 or 15 things that were noticeable changes. So anyway, that's the first one. And then the second one is this When Titans Clash. And this is by Michael Resch. And apparently he said what he said is this is his homage to the Russian campaign, the old John Edwards game, which is um, so as I understand it, it's going to have sort of the look of that game and the feel of that game, but there's going to be a bunch of new rules. It's just kind of it's kind of interesting given John Kranz's history. While he was working a bit at Compass, they did the reprint of the Jedco version, the original Jedco game, but at the same time, his Consim Press through GMT put out that fabulous 5th edition that took all the stuff from the old Move magazines and whatnot, put everything that's ever been published about that game, basically put it in that box. It was fantastic. And then here we have yet another sort of version of the Russian campaign. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to be exactly the same game, but he says it's based on it, so I guess we'll see. Anyway, that's the 2 new games, the first 2 games coming out from the new Consim Games, and he's already got a couple others lined up that he wants to do. And I know he's talking to, he said that he's talking to Vance von Voorhees about more games in that Rhodes series. So we'll probably see something there. There was also lots of news about Combat Commander. And most of the news was the fact that the new reprint, the thing where they put all the Mediterranean and the Europe in one box, that's all really sold really well. Everything else is sort of cooking, so they're feeling some pressure to get all the battle packs back out and keep them in print all the time. So the real news there was a couple of battle packs that were set to be reprinted in their P500 numbers. They weren't at 500, but they're just going to push them up and publish them anyway, because they just want to have all that stuff going. There was also mention that the Frank Chadwick ETO project that had been sort of coming forward slowly. It's sort of it got sidetracked when Alan Emmerich passed away a couple of years ago, a year and a half ago, I guess. So the news here is that they finally gathered together again, the group that's working on that, and that's going to be pushing forward. And they said that they want to try and have it onto the publishing schedule sometime in 2027. I don't know. I doubt that means it'll be published that soon, but they sound like they want it to be at least on their schedule. And then I think, I wonder if I have a picture of this. Oh no! Yes, they wanted playtesters. Yeah, they had a call for playtesters for particularly for this game, Chalice of Poison, on the Iran-Iraq War. So if you're interested in playtesting, check that out. And then the other new P500 game beyond the Consim Press ones is this Battle for the Ozarks. This is a GBACW. This one's designed by Clinton Ray. That's about all I know about it, but that's all I've got for news. So I think we'll get to. I had a couple of games come in. I'll talk to you about them next time. But I think we'll jump right to my guest, Mark, and we'll see where we can get going with this teach and play. Hey, Mark, how are you doing?
I'm fine.
Yeah, everybody, Mark Herman, I'm sure you all know him, designer of this game that he's going to teach me tonight.
Absolutely. Should I just kick right into it?
Yeah, go ahead.
I guess so. For those online who want to follow along, more or less, we're going to be following that. So it comes in the game. It's the comprehensive example play of the Battle of Coral Sea. And we're going to play out the Coral Sea. We're going to be playing it, with the hidden movement, but you'll know we all know where everything is because it's a battle scenario. So let me first start off with Pacific War is really a game system. I know everybody says it's a monster game and all this, but as you will see, it can be a monster game, but it's not. It was never my intent for it to be a monster game, for whatever that's worth. So there are four kinds of scenarios in Pacific War. There are engagement scenarios, which are just little teaching things. I think about a big motor with lots of gears. It teaches you how to run one of the gears. Air combat, naval surface combat, ground combat, some combination thereof, and those are just. And you should not feel obligated to do all of them, but they're there, and you should try a couple of them, just kind of get the feel of the thing. But the core of the game is the battle cycle. A battle cycle is basically what happens when when the forces have come together and are fighting things out. And that is basically what a battle scenario is. So we have an extensive list of battle scenarios. I'll just go through them really. So the first battle scenario is a relief of Wake Island, which is an alternate history one, because it didn't happen. Then we have what we're playing. Battle scenario 2 is Coral Sea. And by the way, we used to play these at WBC as tournament games. So these play like, Coral Sea should. I have played Coral Sea regularly with a friend of mine who's been playing for years. 90 minutes, maybe, could be less. So it's not like a long game when you're playing the battle scenarios. And think of a battle scenario as one operation. And I'll describe it. Then there's Midway, and there's Guadalcanal, and Santa Cruz, and Eastern Solomon. So all the famous carrier battles are covered in the battle scenarios. Then there are the campaign scenarios, and that's really when I designed the game. This is how I played. And just to give you an example, hope I don't drop these. Hang on, I'm gonna make sure when I tilt them up. So you'll see this counter tray is organized for the Battle of the Bismarck, the Breaking the Bismarck Barrier, which is one of the campaign scenarios, and it plays from the invasion of Guadalcanal through the fall or the isolation of Rabaul. And it also includes all of the eastern part of New Guinea. So that's a big scenario. I have been playing this scenario. I don't know how many times I've played this scenario. But the point is that that's what I play. So I have it all organized. I don't have the other million counters are in other bins, but this is all set up to play. I can take this around with me with this mini map and some charts, and I can play this in a hotel room very easily. And I've done that for years because it's all like that. Now, so a campaign scenario is multiple months with multiple operations. So whereas Coral Sea is one operation, a month could have two operations. It could be Coral Sea and something else. It could be whatever. And then, so they like the battle. So Guadalcanal scenario goes from August of 1942 to February of 1943. It's 6 months. You get forces come in and you fight out the entire Solomon's campaign in that. Breaking the Bismarck Barrier just starts with that. And you have different end phases. So you can end at the end of the Guadalcanal campaign in February. You can go on through New Georgia. You can go on through Bougainville, etc. So depending on my mood or what my timeline is, I always start with Guadalcanal and then see how far when I want to take it down. But it's organized so I can play. So effectively, if I ever had put that in a box by itself, it would have been a game that everybody would have been happy with. It would have had enough counters. It would have enough play. You can play forever. So that to me is what Pacific War is to me. Now, back in 1985, with a 2.5-year-old on my lap while I'm designing this game as a 33-year-old, I said, if I don't give them the whole war, they're going to be really upset. So I developed the war. Now, if you think about a battle scenario, it's one operation. You're told the length of the scenario, all the forces are active. That's it. You're ready to go. And that's what we're going to do tonight. A campaign scenario, you have forces, but you have a command point schedule. Every month you're going to get different amount of command points. We'll talk about that's how you activate units, and you can activate different ones and in different order. You bid for who's going to get the next operation. And so now you start to see the real, push and take, but the schedule of command points is set. It's listed in the scenario book. Everything else is open to bidding and how you maneuver and who you activate and all that jazz.
Does that do those command points sort of represent like where you're putting all your resources? Like you don't have enough resources to do everything across the whole.
Yes,
Pacific.
Command points specifically really are logistics. I mean, for the Japanese, they get their it's a combination of so the strategic scenario, which is the whole war. Command points is variable. In other words, there's the whole submarine campaign, escorts.
Right.
You're dragging oil from the middle, from the South resources to Japan. All sorts of stuff's going on, and so the amount of command points you get per month is going to vary based on other decisions. So so if you think about it as 3 concentric rings, the inner ring is battle scenarios. The next one out is campaign scenarios, where now multiple months, multiple operations, but a set command points. The last one is the war, the strategic scenarios, but the war. And now CP's logistics is variable based on the circumstances of the game. And every game's going to be very different. And so, and people, and back in 1985, there was, I would say, by the way, in the history of the world, since 1985, when I did this game, I doubt, I have played the campaign game to completion, and this is the important word, 5 times. People have started campaign games, but they usually call it around 42, 43. I'm not even aware. I suspect that there hasn't been more than 50 of them since the game was designed, and they played it to the bitter end. That's the difference. But now we have VASSAL. That has changed the equation. So now, whereas you used to have your own spreadsheets and you had to have it on a table somewhere forever, now, and that has been, I think, the biggest change is people are taking on the strategic scenario. I don't think, and by the way, I watch online. Nobody's finishing it still. But but they're at least able to start it. And as I've said 100 times, if you are you're looking for an easy breezy time, you can play Pacific War, but just play the battle scenarios or the campaign scenarios. Very doable. If you start playing, if you feel like, I've been gaming for 30 years. Guess what? I've been doing it for over 50, 60. Oh, Jesus, I've been doing it for 70 years almost. But anyway, no, 60 years. But I've been doing this for 60 years. I don't care how many years you've been playing. At the end of the day, you still have to work your way up to that strategic scenario. You can't, if you jump right into that, you're going to be unhappy. You're going to say Mark's an idiot. Everybody says that anyway. And all these things you're going to have all these deep, hateful emotions, but it's not my fault. You shouldn't have bought the game. You shouldn't have done what I didn't tell you to do. So don't blame me. Blame yourself. That's all I want to say.
To be clear, when you were designing this game, the campaign scenarios were like, that was the focus. The engagement and battle was to work up to the campaign, and that was going to be the gem. And it was just this a little external pressure that you felt about, like, well, everybody's going to whine if I don't put on a campaign like the full war. So you added it on, but that's not where you were pitching the game.
It's literally 200 hours. Now it can be a very enjoyable 200 hours, but it's going to be 200 hours, and now look, some of the, there's a lot of people who are, doing fraudulent things. They go to prison. They got nothing else to do. Sure, you should play the strategic scenario. But if you're not in jail and you still have a family, that's not what you should be. Now, of course, with VASSAL, you can do it asymmetrically, and people are now doing that more. But again, I'm very big. I like to finish games, and I know I'm going to finish. If I play Guadalcanal, I'm going to finish it. We're going to finish Coral Sea, not a problem. And what tends to happen, anyway. So now I'm going to start teaching. But do you have any questions, or is there any? And Bo, you'll let me know if there's any question. I see the comments, but if anybody has any questions,
I'll highlight any.
You'll highlight. All right.
I'll get the map up on our screen here, and we'll start to.
Actually, what I would like to do, put the map up. But I would like you to bring up this part of this display.
Yeah, I'll grab. I'll find that. It's.
We found that before.
It's here.
Yeah, you go.
There it is.
That's all I want to see. Okay, so everybody, this is probably the most important display in the game, and it's one that I use all the time because especially when I'm playing solitaire, I may be playing and go, oh, I got to go do something, and if I don't have a marker on which part of the battle cycle I'm on, I will forget. So it's very useful. So now. Let's look at what it was. So it's a very large, display. Now down the left side, you see SCBE, right? So when you're doing an engagement scenario, which is just the tutorial scenarios, you're just doing, you notice that it's all grayed out until you get to, it's one battle cycle. So all the things that happen in an engagement scenario is just one battle cycle, and you learn parts of a battle cycle. So that's the core of the game. That's where everything happens. Now we're gonna be in the B line. So the B line is just like the E line, but there's two little white boxes there, which is the contact phase. You see those two white boxes? If you go down, that's it's the operations and the reaction operations phase advantage. What is it? It's the operation and reaction player activation phases. So what I did with Pacific War is it uses variable time. In other words, as forces are far away, they go at a certain speed, but then when they finally find each other, the time scale changes, and it goes from a daily scale down to 6 to 8 hour scale. And in the rules, and I say this 100 times, and I still get asked about it 100 times, I use the word day. Why do I use the word day? Because I couldn't think of any other bloody word to use. But a day during the contact phase actually represents a couple of days, and a day during the battle cycle represents 6 to 8 hours. And you'll see that in a moment how that works. But by just changing the time scale, the ships go from 12 knots to 30 knots, and you don't have to change anything. So, a little bit of cheap theatrics on my part, but it works really well. So if we could bring that up a little bit larger, just that end of it there, Grant, just where the colored stuff. Yeah. And bring it over in the middle. Right. So what's going to happen is Grant and I are going to be playing a battle. And just to be more for completeness, when you play a campaign, just go back to the left with the C. In the campaign, you will do all the white boxes that we're not going to do tonight, and then you get to battle cycles. So think about battles like once you get to battle cycles, you're like sort of like a clock that's going to keep going around and around and around until the end of the operation. But up to then, things can happen. In a campaign scenario, you're building airfields and you're fixing stuff, and you're doing all this kind of engineering and all this other kind of things is going on. Intelligence operations are going on. That's
like
up front there.
It's like the operation. It's like as if the battle is almost a tactical scale, and the campaign is an operational scale.
You got it, buddy. And by the way, Pacific War is an operational game, and the strategic scenario is playing the entire war at the operational level.
Yeah. So it takes 200 hours. Yeah.
There you go. And if you go back, and then the top line, which is strategic scenarios, you see it has all the boxes. And why that is those 4 boxes that are there that are not in any of the other ones, that's all like submarines and merchant ships and escorts and later in the war, strategic bombing with B-29s and all that kind of nonsense. That's what's going on there. So you can see that this display allows you to play any scenario, but you can keep track of what phase you're in. But we're going to do the B line. So again, there's going to be a contact phase for the Japanese. There's going to be a contact phase for the Allies. And then we're going to get into this colored stuff, and we're just going to do that for the rest of the battle. We're never going back to the contact phase. We never slow down again. It's like you come together, and this is going to happen. Now, what's important is at the end of each, so if you go to the last column, it says day marker adjustment, right? In day marker adjustment, we're always going to advance we'll see the clock in a moment. There's an operational display with a clock. We're always going to advance it 2 days. Again, a day is a term of reference for Pacific War, because what a day represents in the contact phase is not what it represents in the battle phase. But basically, we're going to advance 2 days on that track. The scenario is 21 days long. So that's important. So basically, we're going to do, if you just take 20 and you divide it by 2, how many turns would that be, Grant?
10 and a half.
Well, I said by 20, you'll see why the one's going to go away. Right. But yes, you're correct. It's 10. So the game is 10 turns. But however, you got to go out and you got to get home. Okay. So there's this brief moment where we're all going to be sort of near each other going, doing all the famous stuff you see in the movie reels that you see on TV, on the historical channel and all that stuff. That's going to be like 2, maybe 3 turns. And then we better get back to port, because if you don't, any ship that doesn't get back to port by the end of 21 days is counted as loss. They ran out of fuel. Okay.
Right.
And the campaign game has pages of rules about how everybody since the beginning of time has tried to get around this rule. But let me explain. Task forces move 2 spaces per battle cycle. You with me? Each battle cycle is 2 days. Therefore, forgetting about what a day means, you're going to move 2 spaces, there's 2 days, right? So if you are 10 spaces away from your port and there's 8 days left, you're screwed.
Right.
So you have to be able to count in this game, and that's really where a lot of people fall down. They cannot count to 10 correctly.
Right. So when we're halfway through the game, if I, as the Japanese, am more than 10 hexes away from a friendly port, I've lost.
You have screwed up big time. Now I won't let you do that, but
Right.
But at all times you need to know how many days are left and how far am I, and basically days equals hexes, right? That's the key. What I was trying to get to. So if you're 10 hexes away and you have 10 days, you have just enough time to get home, and that's when the forces break apart. So when you're playing a multiple month thing, you go out, you do something, and you go back to where you started from, or you've captured something, and maybe you can base some guys forward. That's the war part, right? But the ships usually have to get back to a port, and these little islands math is hard. Yes, you're right. That's exactly right. But however, here's the math, and this is Pacific War math in its entirety. You got 10 fingers, you're good. You can count this on your fingers. You don't need a calculator, but 1 moving point equals 1 day. If you got to remember that always. If you remember that, you'll never screw up. But people seem to be lost in this little thing. But anyway, I'm just being very sarcastic. By the way, everybody, I had a root canal. I'm slowly getting to be in more pain again. I will be taking one of these at 9:30. Everybody, let me know when 9:30 happens if I'm talking and I forget, because I can already feel like the drug is wearing off from 3:30. So, but anyway. So the point is that's what's going on. So now let's go through quickly. I'm not going to go. We'll be doing this, but basically, first thing you do during a battle cycle is lighting. So basically, the clock goes from morning to afternoon to dusk to night. That's the clock. We'll see that in a moment. Then the advantage player, and that is like an initiative thing. So the operations player begins as the advantage guy, but it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to hold on to that. So whoever is the advantage guy it's a die roll thing, and his modifiers, based on surprise or intercept or whatever. And so they will then we figure out who's got the advantage, and then that guy's going to move, and he's going to launch airstrikes. Okay, so it's moving airstrikes for the advantage guy. Then there's all this. Eric talks about, wow, it's so incredible that in the 21st century we invented asymmetrical games. So this is 1985. So this is an asymmetrical game, and then if the forces have come into the same space, same hex, we have surface combat. And one of the inspirations for this game is I was always fascinated by the night battles at Guadalcanal. I don't know, but that's always been a huge, I don't know how many books and things I've read since I was a child on it. And so this is where all of that shows up in this game design. I got to show it all. Then, assuming that all that naval, head to head, and if you brought an invasion force to an island like Guadalcanal or whatever, if taking care of the naval threat, you can now bombard the shore, right? You got bombardment. There's demolition. People are always blowing crap up in this game. Then you've landed guys. There's ground combat. Then there's the airfields get repaired. And there's a very simple, I'll get back to that. Troops try to rally. Then you have the disadvantaged guy moves and conducts airstrikes. So he gets to do that. And then there's a joint activation, deactivation phase. Now, that doesn't play a big role. We only deal with deactivation. So when one of your ships gets back to port in time, they deactivate. You're over the finish line. You're good. That's what this happens. In a campaign scenario, you can actually, like, what can happen is one guy launches a big operation, but later in the scenario, the way you do operations across the whole Pacific is you launch a major thing, but you can have a secondary where you can activate a few number of guys and they go take a small island nearby, airstrikes. I mean, things could happen across the whole map because of this activate. If you have command points, you can activate guys in the middle of an operation. So that won't come into this tonight, but that happens in a real game. Then we have
detection removal.
Oh yeah. So basically, you've been seen. Now you go back to being unseen because this is the latency of information at these speeds is I saw you, I struck you, and if I don't have it's hard to get they could not keep a continuous fix, and so you got to go find the guy again. And then we have the day marker adjustment. 2 days will now expend of the 21. Well, you'll see in a moment. So that is the battle cycle. And then as soon as we finish that, we go back to lighting.
Right. We don't go back to those 2 white boxes.
That's done. Once
we're into the orange, we just do orange and blue for the rest of the game.
Correct. And I get asked that question at least 1,000 times. Do I go back to the contact base? No. Never.
Never.
Yeah. Okay. Now that so do you have any questions, Grant, or you're still good?
No, I'm good, but I think what I'd like to look at before we start is the
operations display. Yes.
The day. Yeah. See if I can find that.
Yeah, it's called the ops display. It's actually got its own button on top there. It's like a circle. Go to the top of the toolbar.
There it is.
There you go. Where is it? There we go. Okay, so this is the thing that's going to be in front of you every time for the whole game. This is kind of where the game occurs. Once an operation begins, this is where stuff happens. Now, if you go, let's start with the clock. Okay, so what's going to happen is the operation starting on day 0, so there's a day marker, and there's an op begins marker. Now, if we were doing a campaign, you'll note that there's 3. See, the op end marker is on 21, right? Yeah. Yep. Flip it over, please. Flip it. Yeah. See, it says dummy. So it doesn't matter. There's no hidden information in a battle scenario. So it is at 21. And one of the 3 ones says ops end, like it has the real.
Right.
So what happens is every operation can be 14, 21, or 28 days in length. So when you activate during a campaign scenario, how much money you spent and how long the operation is going to go is a secret. And so there would be 3 op end markers at the 14, and you'll see all the different numbers because you're not always on day 0. So the little numbers tell you like which boxes to go to from that location. You see those little numbers. So if you're starting on day 13, 14 days out is what is that? 27, and then 21 days out is 3 on the next month, and so on. You see, so those numbers help you set up the markers mathematically without having to calculate it. But regardless, so there would be 3 ops. So when you start an operation, you put out 3 ops end mark, but only the operations player who started the operation knows which one's the real end of the operation. So,
right.
But in this case, one of them says ops, and it looks the same on front and back. One of the 3 markers that's the dummy. Did you find the real one?
This is the real one.
All right, so put that one on 21, and we'll lose the other one. But the dummies are there so you don't know how long the operation is and all this kind of stuff. So again, this game. Now, the other thing about this game is it's hidden information, and I say this very simply. If it's not a force marker or it's not like a physical infrastructure thing, it's on a display. And people go to huge lengths saying, but when do I actually know this? Don't kill yourself, okay? It's like, it's hidden enough. It's, once you get found, they're going to know kind of where you are. But until people get very intense about it, but it's just, again, I find some people are too intense for no particularly good purpose. Anyway. But this is just an old man talking. Sorry if you were insulted. So that's the clock. So what's going to happen in this now? Slide. Okay, now you see the second track down says naval movement track 23 points. There you go. So what's going to happen is Grant's the Japanese. Now slide over just a little bit. I'm going to talk about intelligence. I'm going to come back to the contact phase.
Okay.
So it's right under our faces is the chart. You see where our faces are on the left side of the operations display? Our faces are right over the thing I want to show you. There you go. Okay. So there are three. So if you've ever played Empire, the part of Empire of the Sun that comes directly out of Pacific War is this part, by the way. So all operations start as surprise attacks. So I activate all my guys, and I launch them off. There is a activation phase in a campaign, and here we already know everything's activated in a battle scenario. But in a campaign, you wouldn't know. Reaction player then could technically at some point gets to react, activate stuff. Now, what is not known is it really a surprise attack? So again, it's a surprise attack. It's an interceptor. It's an ambush is very rare. And ambush CV is even rarer. You might get a midway situation once a game where an actual carrier was struck in it's designed that midway is a rare event, but it can and usually will happen once during a campaign scenario. I mean, an entire war, but it's not going to happen as a regular event. But anyway, so you see, it says there's 4 levels of strategic intelligence: 1, 2, 3, and 4, and it's on the other chart what the schedule is. If you're at a 4, and then you roll the die, and this is all done secretly, and you have to be kind of honest. If you're at level 3 intelligence and you roll a 4, you see it says I, right? See that?
Yep.
Okay, I means it's an intercept. However, you don't tell the operations player that it's an intercept. You have a little marker that you put down saying intercept. And there are certain rules for an intercept, which you're going to find out about in the Coral Sea is an intercept battle. So
right, we start out, we know from the scenario rules that this is going to be an intercept.
Right, but in a campaign, you don't know this. So I'm just sort of giving you and a surprise attack. You got to just use your good poker face and go, oh, I got a surprise attack. You don't tell the guy it's a surprise attack. You put the marker down. The only way you can stop him is if your reconnaissance planes find him on his way into whatever he's going to do to you. Okay. But the whole point is you don't know the operations players going out there not knowing what can happen. And that's what makes the game fun, quite frankly.
Right. Right.
The unknown part of what's happening. So we're not going to do with any of that stuff here. I just wanted to mention that's what's going on over here. And every month you roll for strategic intelligence, and there is a schedule, on the top. Every month has a different die roll. And again, a little bit of honesty. If you're a cheater, if you're a person who plays with somebody who's a cheater, they're going to be able to cheat, that's the kind of thing, whatever. I don't care about that stuff. So people get very upset that it's not like, locked down, but don't play with people who cheat. Now, below the intelligence thing, you see that little dial. Okay. When we get to the battle phase, one of two things. See, it says lighting condition display. So the operations player at the beginning of the operation gets to set where this starts. So you want it to start at dusk or night or whatever. You can do that as the operator. You figured out on a map and with all your ability, I'm going to show up at this location at night or whatever the heck it is, right? Or you could say, no, I want to forego that. And you roll the die on that middle. See, it says die roll 0 to 1, and it gives you different lighting conditions. One time during the operations player can advance the clock 1 extra box. So in other words, every turn it goes 1 box. When you go from day AM to day PM, though, you do roll random stuff. So it's random. It's not always true that AM gets to PM. You have to go through this. The probability is it's going to go to PM, but there's like a 30% chance it's not. That things were delayed, chaos, you call it whatever you want. But if you are on the day AM turn and you haven't used your special ability, you can now, Grant could say, I want to now advance it twice. So it goes through the random box so now you automatically get an afternoon strike. In other words, you could set that once during the scenario. So that's a little bit of an advantage. You get to control a little bit of the timing of how things might, unfold. But that's how this is going to work when we get to the battle cycle. And that's going to be every part of the beta cycle. We're going to have a lighting condition. And that's what that first part of that is. Okay. So now naval movement track. You see there's a track here, and it's got two markers on it. One says ops, one says reaction. So what's going to happen is Grant, if he didn't know it was an intercept, he'd say, okay, I'm going to start moving. So he moves one box, so put it in the one box. You'll note that the one box is colored. That means 1 day of time has been expended. Now Grant continues moving. No, don't do that yet.
Okay.
Let's stick to the chart. Now he goes to the second box, still moving. Move again. Move again. So now he's gone 4 hexes, and when we eventually sort this all out, 2 days of time have gone off of we're down to 19 days now. You see, we started at 21. And I will tell you I'm going to describe this scenario a little bit. Somewhere around 5 or 6, I'm going to stop Grant. So that is likely to happen around 5 or 6. That's where geography and timing comes in. And 2 days. So we're going to probably start the scenario with 19 days off the clock. So now what's important is if it goes past the ops end marker, that's okay. That's as long as you're in port by the end, when it has to either be on or just past the ops end marker, you kind of get you get a little bit of a goose at the end there if you get under the line. So that's right. Okay. It's not an instantaneous thing. It's at the end of the marker movement. Are you deactivated? Did you deactivate before the marker got there or not? That's the key.
Right.
If you didn't deactivate by the point, then you're screwed. Okay. So then once Grant is done moving, this is that little white box contact phase. I, as the intercept player, will now be able to move as many hexes as he did. And that, unless he sees me, and then that's where search comes in. I could get detected, but I get to keep moving. So we're going to basically close on each other a certain amount of spaces. In a surprise attack, you're going to keep moving until I see you or you get to your objective and you start bombing stuff. Right. In an intercept, the intercepting player gets to control the timing of that when that's going to happen. And you can do it and you can't stop it in less than 2 hexes. 2 is the minimum I have to let you move. But after that, I can stop it. And then we go right into battle cycles from there. So sometimes if you're launching a very long, like if you were playing Empire of the Sun and you're trying to do a 3-op, you were going to go 15 hexes. Well, if it's an intercept, I might get things out there that you may never even get to the objective because you didn't bring enough fuel for a longer operation. You may not get the 21 days.
Right.
So that's all built into this. And so anyway, that is fundamentally the game. So if you could bring up the Japanese force display, it's known, by the way, it's in the comprehensive example play. I want to show them the pieces for a moment. There we go. Okay. So I'm not going to go into great detail here. It's in the rules, and we're going to be describing it, but let's look at the Zuikaku, which is you're having on Task Force 1. It's a carrier. It's right there. I see it. Oh, hang on. I can do this radar thing, right? Right. Yeah, that's it.
It's just this baby here.
Yeah, you got the right baby. So let's look at the and for a moment, flip it over. Just flip it over for a second. So it's got a bunch of combat factors on the back. You'll note that basically it doesn't have much. It's not. Flip over one of the cruisers like the Nachi for a second. When we get into surface combat, see, you note he's got close range guns, middle range guns, long range guns. He's got bombardment rating. He's got torpedoes. He's got all this kind of jazz, right? You'll note that carrier doesn't have any of that stuff. So that's the difference between the two kind of units. And if we get into surface combat, we'll see that. But in this scenario, it's unlikely. So on the other side, the carrier is telling you 2. It's got an anti-aircraft strength of 2. It can carry up to 6 steps of aircraft. That's 90 aircraft. And we'll talk about that. It's got a C6. That means that it can take 6 hits before it sinks, but if it gets to 5, it's crippled. That's what the C stands for. So it will be crippled at 5 steps.
And crippled completely slows you.
It goes from 2 to 1, and then there's rules when you're playing a campaign. They're more vulnerable to submarines and all that kind of jazz.
But it could totally screw up your that clock trying to get back to port in time.
100%. So a crippled unit that's too far away isn't going to make it. You picked up. See, you're very quick, Jen. I like that.
Sayonara.
Now, right above it, there's an air unit. You see the so L2. L2 means that these are elite pilots. There's L0s, there's L1s, L2s. L2s are the best. L0s are like, I know how to get the plane off the ground. L1s are standard pilots. So these are the Japanese, Eagles. They're very good. There are 3 numbers across the bottom, and it's a little letter. So we have a lot of mnemonics. So the first one, I think, is and it's an F. That means it's a fighter. There's 3 classes of airplanes. There's fighters, tactical bombers, which are also torpedo bombers, and there's B for big bombers, which is mostly B-17s. So you'll see that what does it say? It's got A rating, right? Is that A above the 5? I can't even see.
Oh, it's an 8.
No. What's the red letter above the?
Above the 5?
Yeah.
It says it's. It looks like an 8 to me.
No, it's not an 8. Hang on.
Here that's what it's definitely an 8 on this screen.
Let me I gotta fix it. Your screen is so small I can't see.
Yeah, I hear you.
Let me just get an actual counter in front of me, because this is not going to make any sense otherwise. I need an air unit. Oh, yes. That's its range. Yes,
range,
that's
right?
Its range. Yeah, so 8 is its range. The number below it is its air-to-air combat value. The blue number is its air-to-naval value, and the last number is its air-to-ground value.
Right. And that range, that 8, that's out and back.
Correct.
So that means
so basically 4 hexes.
4 hexes, yeah.
Everything is listed as a round trip. So,
right.
And you'll note that Allied units are like 7s, which means they can go out 3, they can come back 3, but there's a condition where with simultaneous strikes where they can get this extra hex of movement because the carrier moves. But that's a special. But basically, American planes go out 3, back 3. Japanese planes go out 4, back 4. That's the simple rule. Okay, there's a ground unit. There is the possibility of 1 ground combat. The scenario tells you can only have ground combat at Port Moresby. There's the only place that they could be. There's Australians, and if you get a Japanese unit there, ground unit there will be ground combat. It may or may not happen, so we'll deal with it later. And now you said to me early on, what are the victory conditions? So I'm going to tell you the victory conditions so you'll know what you're trying to do. I assume you read this already, but if you hadn't,
I have. Yeah.
All right, we'll let everybody else. So basically, the victory conditions are such. Okay, you have to capture and solely occupy the end of the scenario, both Guadalcanal and Port Moresby. That is a decisive victory. And the Japanese must also prevent the Allies from fulfilling any of their victory conditions. Okay, and then a substantive is doing less, Guadalcanal or Port Moresby and crippling a carrier kind of thing. And the Allies must prevent the Japanese from fulfilling any of their victory conditions and sink 1 Japanese carrier or CBL. And then I still occupy Port Moresby and prevent the Japanese from fulfilling any of their victory conditions. And tactical is I'm solely occupying Moresby and prevent the Japanese from fulfilling any of their victory conditions. So basically, it tends to get towards a draw, but
Right. It's right. I mean, to get the big one, I need Guadalcanal, which is the middle one there, and Port Moresby is up here.
That's exactly right. And also you'll note that Guadalcanal has nobody on it, so you just have to land that engineering. All you have to do is land somebody on Guadalcanal. Usually the engineering unit's the one you want to use.
And the engineering unit, like if this was a campaign game rather than a battle scenario, landing the engineers there would make sense as well, because then you'd use those to actually make the base.
Yes.
Because there's little airstrip markers everywhere, but that's just potential air base.
No, that just means that there's a location to build an air. By the way, technically you can build an airfield anywhere, but then it takes like really long time.
Right.
So it's possible, but these are places where historically they could build air bases, but you can build an air base any damn place you want. It just takes twice as long.
Right.
Which means also it costs twice as much.
Yeah. Logistics is dollars, right?
Well, that's all, but you only deal with that in a campaign scenario. You don't deal with that in this scenario. Okay, so let's coach you through the beginning of this. So you've got.
I'm just gonna. There's a good question here because this probably comes up with this game a fair bit. This is a different map projection.
No, this is an equal area.
First of all,
this is an equal area. So for all you flat earthers, I'm sorry. The Earth is a sphere, more or less. Okay, and if you were to peel the sphere up to make it flat, this is what a slice of that orange would actually look like. So north is, I guess, heading towards the North Pole. And Australia is south. So the axis would be more of like go far right. Yeah, there's Australia. Now go far right and down. There's the Aleutian. So that's north and south as you would understand it. But it's oriented. The map is, first of all, if the map comes out of a 1942 engineering manual, it is an equal area map. Every hex is 100 miles in this game. The reason I hesitated, Empire of the Sun's 150. I had to think about that for a second. They both use the same map. And you don't have Mercator lines like everybody you've seen in a lot of it. Mercator is like the worst projection for military maps that you could ever imagine. And the map is designed so that you see the world from Japan's perspective. So Japan is, in fact, radiating out from its part. That's how I oriented it. So again, I was trying to give people a different look at the war.
Yeah, it's great.
Well, whether it's great or not, it's what I did.
Yeah.
And in fact, we're talking about it. So I did it, what was that, 37 years ago? So it's held up.
Yeah, it's just, if people who play a lot of Pacific games are used to it being a little, just rotated sort of 45 or 90 degrees almost. They're used to seeing the Hawaiian Islands way over on the right and Japan way over on the left.
And again, when I found this map in the archives, I cried. I wept openly. I said, "This is the second coming of whatever." I was like, wow. So this was a big find for me a long, long, long time ago.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're in the contact phase. So what's going to happen is, and what we're going to do just for a moment is, I want you to move all your naval task forces one hex in any direction you like into water. Make sure there's water. But other than that, there's one there. Is there a naval task force in there? Oh,
yeah.
You don't want to move that one. Put that back.
Right.
Sorry. That's your seaplane base. If you move the seaplane tender, the seaplanes sink.
Yeah, well, that's not good.
No.
And then here's the other.
Then you move that piece. There's probably a couple. There's.
I think I have 3 task forces.
No, you're missing a task force. Where's Task Force 4 in 1630? There's a Task Force 4 in that box.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's another task force.
Oh, I just haven't put the counter out, I guess.
Yeah, please do so.
That's probably what it is. Oh, no, wrong one.
You got to go to that other one. Yeah, getting used to this VASSAL module takes a little bit of work, but once you get it,
there it is.
Thank you. That's in Rebel. So what I would do is just for grins, take the Task Force 3 and move it up 1 hex, and take Task Force 4 and put it there. Okay, just move it to where that other one was. Perfect. So at the beginning of the scenario, and again, this is not now what could be a secret, hang on, is in the battle scenario, I don't necessarily know what's in Task Force 3 and 4. I mean 2 and 3. He could have mixed it up any way he wanted to. I don't have, but we're doing this based on the comprehensive example of play. But Grant could have done it differently, and Grant could have generated multiple task forces out of truck. He could have put like one cruiser, and he could have created more pieces running around. Now there's advantages and disadvantages to that, but again, that you could do that. That's not illegal or not allowed or anything like that. But in the setup, when you active, they're active. I think they're set up in the scenario that way, but you can change all that. Okay. So now what has happened now, if we go to that operations display now, if you could bring that up.
It's the
circle. It's that circle.
This one.
Yeah, beautiful.
There
so now move your operations to that one. So Grant has moved one hex in the contact phase, and we actually know because of the color that one day of the 21 has been expended. Okay. And so now we're not going to come back to this for a little bit, but just know that that's so this marker would be visible, and it would be tracked as every time he moves everybody one hex, or whoever he wants to move another hex, he would declare it, and that would be that. So now close that, please. Now, we will look at, now what's going to happen now is you'll note that I have this task force 3, which is Port Moresby, right? How many hexes is it from Port Moresby to task force, the one that's, that one. How many hexes is that?
4.
There you go. So we're now going to learn. So it so happens that, and it's on my force display, but I can't bring it up. Can I bring my force display and throw it up there?
I don't think so. I think the way we've got it set up, they can only see me.
Okay. So I apologize, people, but if you were to look in the comprehensive example play, what you would find out is Port Moresby has a L0 45. It's got 45 P-40 fighter planes, and of assorted kind of aircraft of that kind of plane. And there's this search chart. And one thing you should note is that each player gets this. This is how you hide your force display. This accordion thing. You put that in front of your force display so they can't see what's going on. So you got this cool little cockpit thing. I was really into this stuff back when I was 33. Anyway, the only thing that's different between the two charts is the search chart. The Japanese have different, they have better spotter planes and such. But we got radar. But anyway, and so the two search charts are different. So this is the Allied one, not the Japanese one. What I have done long ago, and what I'll probably do in the reprint if I can, is I just Xeroxed them so they're on one piece of paper, so I don't have to keep flipping between them. But they're that's the only thing that's different between those two displays. So what's on this display for the Allies is at 4 hex range. I don't know if you can see this, but there's 0, 1, and 2, and there's different colors. So I'm going to, Grant, just roll the die. I don't care. Just roll a die. Tell me what the result is.
3.
Okay. So 3 is a miss. I did not detect the Japanese plane. Now, detection and search and all that works off a very simple little mnemonic. 1, 1, and 1. Every task force can be searched for one time. Every hex can be searched for one time, and every plane can search once. But you can't combine those. So since I searched for the task force and I searched that hex and I searched for that plane, those 3 things are done. But any one of them would have done it. You see what I'm saying?
And that's
so I could move 2 hexes. He moved 2 hexes, but I've already searched if I have an asset and I search and I missed the first time and he gets another hex and moves again in a battle cycle, I can't search for him again. And I can't search for him in the hex that I just missed him in. But when he moved to a new hex, if I had another plane, he could search for him. But you see what I'm saying? But you can't. It's 1, 1, and 1, right? Okay. But once I blow, basically each task force. Once you blow a die roll against a task force, it's done for that moment. You're not going to get. There's no other combination to fix that. So I've missed that. And
so task force 3, the one that you missed.
Yeah.
In a minute we're going to move it again.
I can search again in the contact phase, but not in the battle cycle.
In the contact, but not in the battle. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So now, can I do a few minutes of geography?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So if you've ever looked at, you got to look at geography in war games is really important. And when you're in the Pacific, ranges and, people ask me why I didn't use area movement in a CDG for Empire of the Sun. And you say to yourself, Grant, ask me that question again. Why didn't I do that?
Why did you do that, Mark?
That's freaking brilliant. Great question, Grant. Thank you very much for asking it. The reason is my granddaughter, Claire, can count to 5 now, and she has been able to do it since she was about 1.5. Range is very important. So I have seen there's a million great games, area, look at Victory in the Pacific, fantastic game, area game, all that stuff. There are multiple pages of rules to tell you that a plane can fly 3 hexes. But on a hex map, I go 1, 2, 3. So it's an equal area map. The reason I use hexagons is the most important thing you have to do over and over again is range. And so why am I going to create 20 pages of rules so you can make believe that you're counting when I can just count? So that's why it has hexagons, just in case anybody cared. So in counting hexagons, Grant, tell me, how far is Rabaul from Guadalcanal?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Brilliant.
6 hexes.
It is 6 hexes. And if you read any book on the Battle of Guadalcanal, the campaign of Guadalcanal, that 600 miles is a big deal in the battle, because planes, except for the really good pilots or the longer range planes, they can't land there. So what the Japanese are already doing is, you see where that task force is that I told you not to move? Yes. They established a seaplane base there, but they were building an airfield. So when you play the Guadalcanal campaign, the reason the Japanese want an airfield there is because it's too damn far to get from Rabaul to Guadalcanal.
Right.
So they built an air base there. And of course, we knew they were building an airbase, and so if we throw some shells at it, maybe drop a bomb on the guy, because you want to say hello and say I love you. That's kind of it's that kind of war. So range matters. Now, how far is it from the Allied task force in Numia, which is a French protectorate, to Guadalcanal?
That these guys over here.
Yes, sir. That's it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yep. Every time I count it, it keeps coming out to be 10. So, going back to the earlier thing I said, if the American ships are at Guadalcanal and it's day 11 of the 21 days, what's the first thing you better start doing at that moment in time? It's day 11 out of 21 days.
Yeah, you better be counting how far it is to get home.
And exactly at 11 days, you only have 10 days left to get back to that port. So that 10 is a big deal. You see, that's the arc of operation from Numia. Now, if we go to Port Moresby is closer in some case. Now, Port Moresby is further than 10 hexes away from Guadalcanal, but you could get yourself out into the Coral Sea, and you could technically make a left turn and either keep going to Port Moresby or go to Australia. I mean, you could do that technically, because there is a base up there in Cairns. So those are other options for the Allies. And now, how far is Truk from Rabaul, and how far is Truk from Guadalcanal?
12 to Guadalcanal.
Yep.
And Rabaul, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
You didn't count in a straight line. It's 8.
Sorry,
you didn't count in a straight line. You kind of made a left turn there.
I was going to Bougainville.
Yeah, you were going to Bougainville. That's fine. So what happens is, historically, is the Japanese carriers are back up in Truk usually because they don't want to be within B-17 range of Port Moresby, because Port Moresby bombers can bomb all that region. And they don't have a good chance of hitting a carrier in port. The guy's, you give him enough tries, he's going to roll a 0 or a 1 once in a while. And the last thing you want to do is get a carrier hit by a B-17 in a port. So I don't have to write a rule to tell you not to put your carriers within range of B-17s. It just sort of solves its own problem.
Right.
And it's the basis of all the rules of what the Allies would call in the war, smothering operations. In other words, if a port that's within range of enemy bombers is not an active port, because it's going to be harassed. And so the Japanese, as soon as the Allies really had planes within range of Truk, they abandoned it. and that's Operation Hailstone, by the way.
And that's why the Seabees and all the airfield creation was such a big deal.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's all. Remember, the Pacific War is an air war. It's not a naval. Everybody thinks it's a naval war. That's incorrect. It's an air war. The ships are there to get the planes forward, but it's an air war, and so it's all about the airplanes. And anybody who thinks otherwise needs to read some more books. I will tell you that. Anyway, so when we're playing this scenario, you got to sort of have in your mind, like a naval commander of this period, how far is shit away from each stuff? How far is everything away from everything? Because I only have so much fuel, and I got to get there. I got to get back. So that's what makes this game a little bit thinky, but hey, that's what people love OCS for, its logistics. Well, this is how logistics gets handled in Pacific War. You got to know where you are, how much fuel did you buy, how much logistics did you buy, and again, we don't have the fleet oilers and all that, but that's what's being bought when you go 21 days. It's got to be like a Neosho somewhere around to let you stay out that long. Okay, so given that I'm 10 hexes away from Guadalcanal, now I'm talking about strategy in this scenario, okay? I know from intelligence that you're going down this way. I mean, I already know this. That's why it's an intercept. That's what I intercepted is your basic, I don't know all your plans, but I got a basic idea of what you're up about. And so given that an American plane has a range of 3 and Rabaul is 6 from Guadalcanal, right? I could probably get a carrier at 6 in range that I can hit you because I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if I get the advantage, I can jump forward 2 hexes and bomb you. So it's all about that first battle cycle. Now you're going to get the first move in the first battle cycles. So I'm likely to let you move 4 or 5. And I like 4. So I'm going to let you move. So move you guys 4 hexes any goddamn way you want. I'm not even going to search for you right now because the detection removal, I'll search at the end just to see if I got lucky, depending on where you went.
I'm just going to remind myself of who's in what task force here.
Yeah, I don't blame you. So basically, I'm guessing if you did it right, Task Force 4 is going to have the Guadalcanal crowd, which is going to unstack those. Yeah, you can unstack them. You got a couple of cruisers. You got the APD is carrying. So the way that a task force has to be organized, that APD and that Marine are in the core. That's the right box.
Right.
Yeah. And the other guys are all on the screen.
Yeah.
So that's how that task force looks. There are little simple rules for this. So that's what's going on there. And you got and so you also have a seaplane tender, a CVS is in there. So the CVS would allow you to, if you leave it in Guadalcanal, you can't leave the CVS in Guadalcanal, but at least it's there. You can put it someplace to create a seaplane base, maybe down the road. But anyway, all that aside. So that, and then the other one is going to be, I'm guessing, is the Shoho with the invasion fleet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one of those that you might have wanted. Now, in the scenario, I kept them. Let me see what I did here. That one. Chitos is there. Yeah, so I kept those all together. So that's the Shoho's giving air cover to the transports. That's what its job is. So that task. So again, just move all your guys 4 hexes. By the way, everybody, normally this would be 1 hex. I do search 1 hex, but it's not that important.
So they've all got 1 already. So just 3 more.
Correct. So make any 3 moves you like, and then I'll show you what happens. And you'll note that at all times the carriers were well out of range of anything I had.
And I can move through
as long as the different color water is just, it's either open water, coastal water, or the light blue, or constricted water. Basically it's the slot.
Right.
3, 4, lovely. Okay. That's
Although
fine.
I don't
know that was it. So I would have offered that. That is not a good move because you'll never make it to Port Moresby going. And now you've gone too far.
Right. So he started here.
Remember, Claire can count to 4. You can do it too.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3,
4. Beautiful. Okay. So the only search I'm going to make, I would have kept searching for it, but I'm just going to make one just to speed this up. So the plane in Port Moresby now is 3 hexes away, right?
Yep.
So if you would roll the die, please.
A 1.
Okay, so a 1 is so now I got to describe. Can you bring this chart up somehow?
Yeah, let me see if I.
I would like to describe this chart's really kind of cool. Bob Ryer, the editor of Victory Games, created this really cool. It looks like a fan. It's like a range fan. It really is a cool looking chart. We had some very talented people in Victory Games.
Trying to remember which.
It's going to be in the display somewhere. Yeah. Is it on? No, it's not on that one at all. That's the strategic display. What else we got?
Japanese naval, Japanese forces.
Well, let's see the Japanese naval. What's that one look like?
No, it's just.
No, that's just yours.
It's just a counter storage.
No, keep going. What else you
got? Japanese forces. Well, we already.
No.
That's
not it. Let me look at mine. Maybe it's. Hang on. Notes. Oh, there's it says game charts. Where? Oh, they came up. Okay, so on your screen, Grant.
Yep.
There is a button that says game charts.
Hit there it is. I got it. There's the chart.
There we go. So what we're doing, everybody, is we're in the middle fan. It says FT. I assume this is the Allied one. That's good. The FTB air units. So that means basically most air units other than long range air, like PBYs or spotter planes, which are the float planes off of cruisers. That's the far right one. So at 3 hex range, you'll see that there was a green 0, a blue 1-2, and a red 3. Those are the die rolls. So he rolled a 1. So if we look over here on the search results, the blue one says detected. Target player reports number of capital ship units and number of non-capital ship units and whether there are any aircraft carriers in the task force. So this is a pretty good sighting. We definitely got a full sighting. A red one, you could fuss around with the numbers a little bit. So if you would flip over your task force marker to its detected side.
It says detect level blue.
That's perfect. Yeah, that's good. That's a nice little touch, but we just did it. Okay. So what that means is that if you cannot attack something that you don't know is there. Now, force markers are always known that they're there, but you have to. If you could fly into them and not know what's there, and then you would see what's there. But if you fly a recon plane, it would flip over to its detected side. That doesn't change that it's there or not, but you would get information about what's in the hex.
Right.
So I already know there's a base in Rabaul. I don't need intelligence about that. But what's in Rabaul is a little bit unknown. So now we've detected that guy. So now that you've moved 4, okay, so I can move also now, right?
Right.
Yeah. So I'm just going to move out real quick. And
if we go back to that long strip that's basically the sequence of play, I've just done that first white box.
Yeah, we're going to come back to that, but you move 4 hexes. Right. I would like you to make 1 die roll for yourself. Roll a 0.
Okay. Well, here we go. No, I rolled a 5.
Okay. So the reason that is I'm going to use the radar thing. You had a seaplane base here, you see?
Right. Yeah.
And it is 8 hexes to here, and that is the range of a long-range aircraft. So basically, your search plane, you had these big Mavis boats floating around, and they took it, and they didn't see my task force. But if you had, you would have then discovered, where the American carriers were located.
Yeah, that's these guys. That's
very important planes in this game. Long-range aircraft are critical in this game.
Yeah, that's your eyes.
That's exactly right. You get other eyes, but anyway. So now we are done with the contact. But now go back to the operations display, please. Everything is please. I'm just going to keep moving along here.
Yeah. There we go. This is what you wanted? This one?
Yes. So we finished with that contact phase. We finished with the reaction contact phase. Those 2 white boxes. We're now into the lighting phase. Now, Where's give me 1 second. Oh, I apologize. I have to get something else here.
Charles, you know this module better than either of us do. Good for you.
Advantage determination. So I'm going to try to reference rules for people in case they're following along. So where we are now is, we're actually going to do lighting in a second, but I want to get to advantage. Where's the word advantage? A cycle 27.0. 27.1. Okay, so now, so first we're going to do lighting. So what lighting? Oh, go back now. Bring up the operations display. So now we're starting the battle cycle. So what lighting would you like, Grant? So you need that circular, the. Oh wait, go back to the operations display. We have to do one. I'm getting ahead of myself. Get to that circular. The main display is that up. No, the one that's to the left of the bulldozer.
This guy.
Yes, thank you. So you move 4 hexes. So move that little marker 4 hexes. I move 4 hexes. Move me 4 hexes. Now go to the clock on the far right. So now the day marker is in the 2 box. And the reason that is that we went through 2 shaded boxes. See, 1, 2. So now we're in battle cycles, but that I just want to show that's how. So we finished the contact phases. Now we're into the action.
Right. And
now if this was a campaign, at some point I would reveal to you what the situation. When I start moving, I'd say stop. It's an intercept. I show you the marker. You move 4 hexes. I said, now I'm going to move, and I move 4 hexes. So that's how that would be revealed, but we already know that's going to happen. Now, because it's an intercept, the advantage determination is high die roll. Now, if it was a surprise attack, it would automatically be the operations player. And if it's an ambush, it's automatically the reaction player. But an intercept is high die roll. So this is very important die roll. You want to beat me on this, you can roll them both. Roll the operations player first. So you're the Japanese. Hit the Japanese roller once there, buddy.
Does this happen before the lighting or after?
Oh, excuse me. Lighting has to happen now. Do you want to set the lighting, or you want to hold it in abeyance?
The only reason to set it is if I particularly wanted to either get somewhere at night where I would be avoiding your
yeah. So planes. What you'd like to do is dusk is good for you.
Right. Yeah, so, well, let's go with that because.
All right. So now go to the operations display, and there's a marker that goes on the clock. So see the lighting?
Yep.
Move it to dusk. Right there. There you go. So now we're in dusk. Now, what's important about dusk is, and that was a good choice, by the way, is if I launch an airstrike in dusk, they have to make a night landing, and that can be very hazardous. So that's a good time to pick. So you picked your dusk. You've done with your light. So you've now given up your one.
My one chance to choose.
So now we're going to roll dice for who's going to be the advantage player.
All right, here we go.
So you're going to roll first.
I rolled a 7, and you rolled a 9.
Oh, look at this. So this was my plan all along, but it's dusk. But search isn't affected by dusk is considered day, not night, and the search chart has night and day columns. So take my task force 1 and move it 1 hex. Just move it towards Guadalcanal.
Oh, I think maybe you have to move
it.
Oh,
I have to do it. Sorry.
Yeah,
you can't touch my pieces. Get your hands off my pieces.
It's very strict.
I'm moving this one. So now you're going to make some die rolls.
Right. Now I'm searching.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So roll. You need to roll low.
And we're looking at from here to here.
Yes, it's 7.
7. Yeah. Okay. I rolled a 1.
Oh, you needed a 0. I'm sorry to say.
Ah, well, that was close.
But you were close. Now, and I only get to make one search. I'm going to wait till I move another hex. Now, there's a task force 2 is within 4 of your task force 3, and you definitely have planes on task force 3.
Right. Yep. Right. And yes, that's right. So I can do a roll there as well.
Or
right?
yes, so that's a Japanese 4 hex. 0, 1, or 2 is a good number.
No, a 9. A 9 is not a
Yeah,
good number.
they were asleep.
Yeah.
Okay, so you failed at all your detections. Now I'm going to move another hex. I'll move my guys another hex. Now I'm going to make a detection roll, but here's where the problem's going to come in. I'm going to detect, even if I detect you, right? It's unlikely I'm going to make an airstrike because I'm out of range. And more importantly, the detection is going to go away by the nighttime, so I'm not going to need. So I'm going to make the roll just to show how it works, but it's
Right.
not. It's a useless thing to do at this point. But I know that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So I have to roll. I'm going to roll the die. I need a 0. Allied roller. Oh, well, that's interesting. Allied search roll. 3. Okay. Oh, I see. The roller can tell you what kind of die roll you're making, so it keeps track of what the die roll. That's nice.
Yeah,
So I failed my search there, and now I'm making my search here. No, those guys, Task Force 2 doesn't. They have spotter.
Oh, they don't have it. Yeah.
No, wait. They got spotter planes. They're cruisers. They have some spotter planes. Let me just take a look. I believe they have spotter planes, and the way you figure that out is task. No, wrong chart. I keep pulling the wrong things down here. It's the Allied display.
It's the one just called
I got it. I found
Forces. It. Yeah.
Yes, the New Orleans and the Portland both. The Northampton, the Kent doesn't have a spotter plane, but the Northampton does. So the Northampton is going to make a search with its spotter plane, and its spotter plane is at 3 hex range. It needs a 0, 1, or 2. So I'm making an Allied search roll. 0, 1, 2. I rolled a 3 again, so I failed. So now I knew where the Japanese were, by the way, and so now and I won initiative, right? I was just showing how this would work detection-wise, but I'm going to now make an attack. I've now moved. Now it's the advantage air mission phase, advantage air. And it so happens I have some chuckleheads on Port Moresby who are going to clearly not do well on a night landing, but at this point, I'm going to risk it. So,
and if we went back to that long sequence of play, you're the advantage player. It's that orange section where you get to attack. Then there's the big naval stuff, if we had any, and then it'll be my chance to launch.
Totally. See, look at you. You're all over this thing, aren't you?
I'm trying.
You're doing a great job. So now I just had this stupid display up here. Oh,
it's the first one under it. If you're looking for the forces.
Yeah. Found it. Good. Thank you.
Yeah.
So this is where is that guy? So basically, this is how bad this is. I'm doing it only to show the combat table. I have to. It's a 5% chance. That means I have to first roll a 0, and then I have to roll 4 or less. 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4 to hit anything. So this is not going to happen. But I'm going to do it so you can see the table. So we're going to please bring up the combat table, the air and naval table. It's in the charts that you hit with the pencil. It's right next to the pencil thing.
Is that this one?
Let me see. Correct. So this is a critical chart in the game. So what happens is you determine your strength across the top, and then based on what the mission is. So since this is so first thing we're going to do is I'm launching an airstrike from Port Moresby against your task force. You're now going to make a detection roll against the airplane. So now the good news for you is this is pretty good. Same hex, search for air, and it's daytime still because it's dusk. Dusk counts as daytime for search. You need to roll a 5 or less on a die roll.
5.
Excellent. And everybody should know this is a stupid attack, but we're going to do it anyway. So you look detected. Demonstration. So now I know what's in that task force. So you didn't change it, so that's why I wanted you to do it this way, so I could count things up for you. So it turns out that Task Force 3 is where the Shoho is, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, they got a flak rating of 4. So here's what's going to happen now: is you have airplanes there, and they. So let's look at your plane that's on the Shoho. What is its value? So it's got a 1. It's got a 1 air-to-air value. Okay,
Yep.
so you are, and I am rolling, and I'll be shooting at you the other way. So let's just try this out. So let's go to that chart. So let's look at 1. See the 1 column here? Well, I can't. You see the 1 column, and you see the lines, colors go down. Like so let's say you rolled a 1 on a 1 thing. So just follow that green line down, and it goes to cap versus. It happens to be because there's only 1 plane's coordinated. So if you had rolled a 1, you see the 1. See it says cap versus coordinated. You'd get a hit. You would get a hit of my plane. And then when I shoot, it's the coordinated strike versus the cap. I would have to roll a 1. Yeah, and my rating, according to this this display thing, is I'm basically because what's going on here. I'm a 1 also. So we're both going to roll. So you roll for your cap. So just roll the die, and then I'll roll the die. And this is a combat roll.
I rolled a 5.
Okay, and I air. I guess it's this one. I rolled an 8. So a lot of now, but you detected me. So now that the planes have missed each other, you got flak. So you're going to roll against a 4 flak rating. So roll for flak. Just roll air. Just roll air.
Yeah. There we go. 7.
Okay, so the simple way to understand this table is if you roll higher than your number, you're always going to miss. Okay. If you roll the number, then you can start looking at stuff. So most of the time, I don't even bother looking. And so my planes came in, the planes tangled, they missed. Your flak went do, they didn't hit anything. Now I'm going to roll the die. Where's this die? Allied naval attack. Oh, no, but see, I needed a 0 and I rolled a 1. So I had a 0 rating. I needed to roll a 0, and then it was a 0-4 rating. So I actually needed to roll it's that far left green. Which
this thing. Yes.
Yeah, that's where we were.
Right.
So, but the point was, but here's the key point. We just went through an entire air attack.
Right.
Full on. That was the entire air attack. My plane returns. However, because it's dusk, we talked about this. Yeah. I have to land at night, and so I have to roll. I basically have to roll a 0. Basically, if you were a 1, you could roll a 2. If you roll twice your level or less, nothing happens. But if you don't roll your level, you lose a plane.
Right, and this is that thing. This is the level on the planes, the L0, L1,
right.
L2.
L2 guys have like a 70% chance of making it. This is what they can do, but this is not going to be pretty. So I'll just roll this die here. I rolled a 1. So I needed to roll a 0. Now, if it had been an L1 aircraft, it would have been fine. So what happens now is I go to my air unit and I add a hit.
Right.
So I lost. So now where I had 45 planes, I now have 30 planes. See?
Right.
So, but now you saw the entire sequence of a dusk airstrike, and that's why I'm not launching a strike from my carrier. Well, also you're out of range, but if you were in range, I wouldn't be launching it from a carrier because who'd want to lose good planes off a carrier?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so we're done with this. So now let's go back to the sequence. Bring that sequence of play up. That long battle thing. I want to go through it.
Yeah, I just have to always remember where it is.
Yeah, no, that's why I like.
No, it's not.
It's the. It's going to be the. It's what they call the Japanese.
This one.
That's it. Go to okay. So if we had I think there's a marker somewhere, but anyway,
I'll grab it.
Yeah, grab it. So now we just finished. Go down one. Go to the right row. Yeah, that's the right row. So now we go. Hey, are there any ships in the same hex? What do you think, Grant?
No, there aren't.
So zoom through all that.
Burnt. What?
Are there any ships in a shoreline hex with enemy targets to shoot at? What do you think, Grant?
I don't think I'm that close to you.
No, you have to be in the same hex.
Yeah.
So now the next one doesn't happen. We don't have demolition in battle scenarios. Ground combat, there's no units in the same
nobody
space. I'm only going through this one time. After this, we're going to zoom through. Now it says airfield repaired. There's no airfields that are damaged, nothing to be repaired, no troops to be rallied. Now you move. So it's over to you.
And I get to go, is it
now you're
one
going
or
to
two
move up to 2
spices?
hexes, and I can stop a guy to make a search when I want to, but I'm not going to do anything because of where your distance. I'm going to let you move 2 hexes in all cases. So just move you guys 2 hexes.
Oh, this is good. I'm make it to Guadalcanal.
It is good in a way.
Those guys stay there.
No,
Yeah,
don't move those guys.
Now
you got to make this what you're going to do with that crab, because there is a cruiser group somewhere nearby.
Yeah,
and there are planes. There are real planes and Carns back there that can come forward that are unsuppressed in any manner of. So you can move 2 hexes closer to Moresby, and hey, I'd say, hey, go for it. It'll be interesting.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, any closer that I get to you, if you get the next move, you will be able to move right into me and get that sweet naval combat.
I got to tell you, before I started this live stream, I said, "Is this a quick guy or a slow guy?" You're a quick guy. I can see it.
Well, carriers don't want to be involved in naval combat.
Well, now, by the way, at the beginning of a movement, you can split it into 2 pieces. You can split it, so you don't have to send the Shoho into range of the surface action. But the transports and their escorts are going to have to get through something if they're going to get to Moresby. So there could be a surface combat here.
Yeah,
pretty exciting, huh? Pretty exciting.
Let's give it a go, just for the.
So what I would do, but not to be a total crazy man, what I would do is I would go into your force display and create a new task force, separate out whatever you want to. And by the way, having the Shoho be alone could be a problem, because one of my victory conditions is to sink a carrier or light carrier. So the Lexington is not that far away, so I may come rolling looking for you.
Right.
And by the way, I've already detected you, so I know for a fact. And when you move and separate, I'm going to make searches. So things are going to happen.
We'll take the Shoho and her planes.
Yeah, take the planes.
Oh. And
okay, I'm just going to take a moment and take a. So anybody who's watching, the drug I am taking is called ibuprofen, and it's not it was given to me by a dentist, and she said, take this or you're going to be in agony, and I think she's been right so far. I did work once for various pharmaceutical companies. And you know what they told me? The hardest instruction that nobody ever follows is, and why the medicine doesn't work the way it's supposed to sometimes. They says drink a glass of water with the pill.
Oh,
and people just they'll take a sip and swallow it, but the reason you drink a glass of water is it makes it dissolve in your body faster.
Right. I know. I do the sip thing. I'll take your note.
Again, I was told this by a pharmaceutical engineer. So he said that's the hardest thing. We can't get anybody to drink a whole glass of water. So I always drink a full glass of water. So take this public service announcement to heart, gentlemen. And if there's any ladies on,
I stripped out the Shoho on its own into another, and
you can send the rest of the crowd like adjacent to Port Moresby.
There we go. And I'll just leave the Shoho just out of range here.
Yeah, and by the way, this is not a bad move, and I'll tell you why in a moment. Okay, so you've done that.
I've done that, and I've moved these guys down. Yeah, I've moved all the guys I'm going to move.
Okay, now we're both going to want to make some searches. So first off, you can go first. It doesn't matter. I'm going to search for you in a second. I'm going to do some searches, but let you go first. And by the way, the way it's supposed to work, in fact, let's do this correctly. Put the guy that moved 2 back. Okay. And the other guy, move him back 2. So now, if you would kindly move everybody 1 hex. I'm teaching, so I want to make sure everybody learns correctly how this is supposed to work. I'm taking some shortcuts, and I don't want to do that. So you moved everybody 1, right?
Yep. Well, yeah, sure.
I now have an
read it back
opportunity
one.
to
Yeah,
search,
absolutely.
and I am going to search. I'm going to search with the plane that's in Moresby is going to search for that guy who just moved. Actually, no, I'm not going to search yet. He's going to get closer. So the spotter plane on the Northampton is going to search for the what's effectively the Shoho. Yeah. So let me roll the die real quick. Where's my mouse? There it is. Air allied search. I rolled a 2. That may not be bad, by the way. Let me take a quick look.
It's going to be on the edge.
Well, I only look when it's a low number. So
yeah, absolutely.
So this is still dusk. It's 3 hex. No, 3 hex range.
Three
spotter
hexes.
plane.
Yeah.
I need a 0, 1, and I rolled a 2. So you see, I failed.
Yeah, there we go.
Failed.
Yeah.
I was close, but I wasn't close enough. So I failed that one. And now the fighters are going to make a 2 hex search. Now in this case, 4 or less. So now we're starting to get to some numbers that are meaningful.
And that's from
Port Moresby, but that was a 9. They didn't. The planes didn't even take off. Okay, they didn't even get that. They didn't even got in the air. So I failed all my searches. Now you made your search. Did you make any searches, or I just did?
No.
Oh
no,
yeah,
just you.
Now, and the other search I'm going to make, I will wait on. So I failed my searches, so I can't search for you again because I searched and it's the same battle cycle. I searched. Remember 1, 1, and 1. I did it. Now you can move all your guys another hex. So I can't search for you anymore. So we're done with that. Move the other guy. Yep. Okay, now you can make searches, and you can have the Shoho search for that task force
2. Yeah.
Yep.
Here to here.
So I would do that if I were you, and you
I'm
need to roll a 3 or less.
8 is not going to do it.
Yeah, they couldn't find it. And now task force 3 can't search because. Remember 1, 1, and 1. You failed that one. You can't keep trying. So that's that. Remember, because these used to be like they'd have a search plane with the arc. So the one plane.
Yeah, but I haven't searched with Task Force 3.
Right, but what are you searching for? There's no more ships out.
Oh yeah. Oh right.
Now, what you can do. Yeah, right. Well, here's what you can do. You can search for Port Moresby, which is automatically. So you can flip it over to its detector. At least you could get to see. In a game, you could say, I search for it anyway. Let's just see what happens. You're in 1 hex range with a spotter plane, 4 or less.
3. There we go.
Perfect. So what would happen on a 3 is I would then tell you there are ground troops and there's planes.
Right.
And then you could flip the marker over to show that it's been detected.
Yeah, but you'll have to do that because the thing won't let me.
Yeah, I got you now. Right, you can't. Marker movement, remove max search detection. A little blue. Oh, that's cute. It's got a little blue on it. Blue on blue is not easy to see, but it's there. Okay, so you're fully aware of what's in Port Moresby, and you'll be aware unless I fly other planes in there. You know what's there now, right? There's 30 air fighter planes, and there's some guys with guns and machine guns ready to kill you.
And the other one I could do is the long range out to Task Force 1.
You may, knock yourself out.
Might as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a range of 6.
Yeah, you got to roll 1, 0, 1.
4. Didn't do it.
Well, this is typically what happens.
Yeah.
So we now go back to that. So go back to the battle cycle thing.
Oh. I always forget which one this is. No, not this one.
No, that's the operation display. It's the
it's my own display.
Yeah, that's
this thing.
So now you've done your advantage movement. You've done your advantage air.
Disadvantage, but yes.
Go ahead. Disadvantage.
Disadvantage movement and
disadvantage air. Now we're doing joint activate in battle scenarios. There's only deactivation. You're not in ports. Nobody's deactivating. Keep going.
Right. So because I'm not launching any air missions or anything like that.
Yeah.
So deactivation, detection removal, which means we
So
flip.
everybody flips back over, but the force marker doesn't because it's a force marker.
Right.
Day
And then
adjustment. So
we
now
move
go to
the
the
day.
operations display and let's move that clock 2 days. There. So now move that to day 4.
So there we go.
Yeah. So we have, so just to be clear, go back to that thing get back to the clock for a minute. So at the moment, if I got all the way to Guadalcanal, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I've only got 2 battle cycles to do something with my carriers, or I got to head home. And you're in a similar. So the battle of Coral Sea is going to be soon, if at all.
Right.
But that's what's going on. So you've managed to get your. So now we are going to start a new battle cycle. So go back to go to the operations display. We got to move the clock, the date.
I think there's a thing to turn the thing on the. There's probably something on here to turn off the detection as well. Here it is.
I don't know. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Boom. Then anything that was
beautiful.
There we go. Yeah. Okay. What do you say? Go back to the.
Yeah, go there. The circle. No.
Oh, the circle. Okay.
The circle. Thank you.
This one.
Circle. So we now go back to the far left of it. And now far left. Now it's night. Move the clock from dusk to night. So now it's dark. Okay. So we're now into a new, so that's the lighting condition been done. Now we're going to roll for initiative. So I'm going to roll my initiative, which is here. I rolled a 5.
I rolled a 5.
Ties go to the operations player.
And that's me.
That would be you. So now this is kind of cool. So let's go. So I think I can just say the phases and we don't have to keep bringing that.
Yeah, I don't have to. But this is,
we'll know what it looks like now. If you don't,
we did lighting. We did lighting. We did advantage.
So now it's advantage movement. Now, in advantage movement, a ground unit can either move before or after the ships, right? Because you're in Guadalcanal and you want to land on there to score your victory condition, you should take that. You're going to say, I want my ground units to move first. Wouldn't you like that?
Yeah, absolutely.
So now take that ground unit.
I'm gonna make a new force.
There you go, and then put it on Guadalcanal.
Yeah, Japanese force 6.
There you go, and then put it on Guadalcanal, and
there we go.
You have now captured Guadalcanal.
I can hear the cheering.
Like actually, we're going Banzai, Banzai.
Right.
Yeah, okay, very nice. So that was that. So you moved your ground units first. Now, note that your other task force isn't going to be able to land. Oh, actually, I just realized where you are. So what you're going to want to do, this is actually good for you. So you're going to move your ships first, then you're going to do the ground, because you can do both invasions. You can have this invasion happen later. So
right, so you have to move all your ships or all your ground.
Yeah, ground has to move either before or after naval movement,
and all of it, right?
Not intermix at all. Right.
Okay, so we're just going to say I haven't landed in Guadalcanal yet. We're going to do
so you
first.
You move the guy to Port Moresby.
We want to get into there, right?
Correct. Now any of the naval movements. So you might want to move your carriers forward and all that shit.
Yeah, these guys, and it's just 2 hexes, right?
That's it. It's at nighttime. So any searches are very hard to do at this point.
Actually, I might show hose here. Let's just make things.
You could. But the other possibility is you could move Shoho around the northern side of New Guinea, get it out of the way where I can't kill it, but you can still give air support to the attack later.
Oh yeah, that's true. I was just thinking it would be fun to have all my carriers come.
Yeah, well, I would like you to. I'm just telling you, I would love you to do that. Except that's how I'm going to win the scenario.
I know. I just want to see the big air battle.
Well, then I have been honest with you. That's all I can say.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, here's somebody on my side singing Banzai for me. Thank you, Michael.
There you go. All right, so you've moved your guys. Now you're debarking. So let's go. Now we will have to. So what's going to happen is there's no naval combat cycle right now because the ships are not in
the same hexes.
correct. Bombardment though is possible. So why don't we bring up your guys and let's see if we can't break the morale of these Australians.
All right. So we're going to do shore bombardment is what we're going to try and do here.
Yes.
In this hex. And
Yes.
so we need that. We're going to need
No,
that.
but first I got to see the values of your ships.
Yes. Task Force 3. Oh, that's these ones over here on the edge.
Yep. So the AA doesn't have anything, but the CL and the CA are going to have some kind of numbers.
Yeah. Then it's the number to the far right, right?
No. Flip it over.
Oh, right. The other side. Boom. There we go. And there we go. Oh,
I think it's a 2, and no, you didn't flip the cruiser over.
Whoop.
No, the amphib doesn't have any values.
Yeah, no, this guy.
Yeah, that would be the better one.
A B2 and a B4.
Okay, so tell me which one you're rolling first and roll it.
Okay, I'll roll the B4 first.
Okay, good luck.
2.
Good. Next one.
And the B2 is a 4.
A good
so
thing
the 4 is a 2 and the 2 is a 4.
Yeah, you should. The other way you would have gotten both. So anyway, it doesn't matter. There's one. So there's a true quality check. If you look at the actual combat strike table, it has a little. It's bombardment versus ground unit. They're all T's in the low numbers.
Oh yeah.
See it, bombardment versus ground unit across that line, and you came in from like a 4 down there somewhere, but they're all T's at those numbers.
Right.
Okay, so we now go to my display, which nobody can see, but I'll walk you through it. My guy has a morale of 5. This is the 30th Australian Brigade. So I'm going to roll the die. And these guys, they sneer. They sneer.
Yeah.
And by the way, no unit can take more than 1 TQ check anyway. So even if you got 2 TQ checks, it would only been 1. But there could have been more than 1 unit in the hex. But so that didn't work. So now we go to ground combat. You can bring up that chart if you like from the charts.
Yep. There's the ground combat chart.
Yeah, bring it over there. I'm looking at I can't read that one, but I can read this one. Now, you have 2 units. You've got a 7 and a 6 coming in.
That's right.
You got a total of 4 steps, and I've got a total of 4 steps. So there was 8 steps in this combat total, by the way, which is, it'll tell me which line. So you're making amphibious invasion, and so your true quality. So first off, nobody's broken. If the unit has used the calculator, there is no friendly. Halve the true quality up. So your true quality is 7 halved. Rounding up, so it's a 4. So the Marine, the SNLF is going to give you a 4 versus the other guys only give you a 3. So you're going to go with a 4 versus a 5, and that's telling me that's in the 9 column. If you look at that chart, that's in the top. Right
that's up here. Yeah.
So if you cross-index a 4 attacker true quality with a defender of 5, that's a 9 column.
9. Yep. See it right there. Yep.
Yeah. And because there's a total of 8 steps in the combat, we just figured that out. We're in the 6 to 16 line. So now, note that the columns are provided they do not is going to the jungle. Now this is a jungle hill hex. So it's a 2 columns to the left. So it goes from the 9 column to the 7 column.
So we're in this column then.
Right, and it's 1-to-1 odds, so there's no die roll modifier. So why don't you roll the die?
2.
Okay, 2. So the attacker took 2-step losses and the defender took 1-step loss. I think you have to take the first step loss. So the SNLF is dead and the other guy takes 1 hit. My guy takes 1 hit. So I'll put it on, I'll mark it here. How's this happen?
So my Marines that's just gone.
Yeah, they're dead.
but my regular infantry, they don't take a hit.
Yes, they're. I think I'm doing this correct. I'll here remove all hits. Okay, let me see. It doesn't look any different. Hit. Oh, I see what it's doing. It's got a little number that they're throwing. I can see it now. Okay, so now this is a white result, which is an optional retreat. I am not retreating, and you're not retreating.
Right.
That would be stupid. So the battle is over. We're done with ground. Now, why? This is a game where 2 units can be in the same hex for an indefinite period of time. Because remember, Guadalcanal's only got 1 hex, so we're locked in. Now, the next combat, you will not have the halving result because you're ashore now.
Right. So I'll count as my full 6.
Right, and I'll be a 5, but I'll still get my terrain benefit and all that.
Right. Yeah.
So we're not done with this battle. So we got an ongoing fracas going on at Port Moresby. So
do I need to detach my my infantry unit into a force now and take it out of that task force?
100%.
Right. So I'll just make him task force 7 quickly here.
Yep.
There we go. Okay.
Okay, so that was our ground combat. Now we've got airfield repair, rally. Nobody was broken. So we have disadvantaged movement. So what's going to end up happening here is I'm just going to do it because we have to do this for teaching purposes. I got to do this over here. Task Force 2 is going to roll into this hex. Task Force 1.
Task Force 2 went right into Port Moresby, hey?
Yes, sir. Well, they're offshore, obviously.
Yeah, offshore, yeah.
And Task Force 1 got over here.
Yeah.
Okay. So we are now, I've done my movement and it's nighttime, so we can make searches, but there's going to be no airstrikes. So I'm just going to speed things along. It's because they would then you'd be detected. You'd be doing this in a game if you're still trying to learn like what's happening because it's a battle scenario. Most of this stuff is known.
Right.
So
even if we detected each other,
it would just become undetected.
Strike, and then it comes undetected. Yeah.
Yeah. But what's important is these guys in Port Moresby, we're not going to have naval combat now because that doesn't happen until the next phase, but there's still opportunities to do weird stuff, but we're going to have some kind of naval action because you can't leave once you're in the same hex with somebody. If they're detected, we're first going to roll for this detection matters though. So we're going to roll for detection. Your detection. Now, this is where I have a slight advantage because I'm American. It's nighttime searching, so I need a 5 or less. I missed. So I did not see you. And this could be very bad for me. And then you are but you got good binoculars. Yeah, you're not bad at this either. So you found me. I didn't find you. So that means the first round is going to be a surprise. Ooh, that's not good for me.
Ah, great.
We could have Savo Island, but that's going to happen later. So now we advance. So we have joint activation, deactivation, detection removal. Now this detection removal does not come off. So I'm detected because the reason the detection level, what was it? A 1. Oh, that's pretty good. The reason the detection doesn't come off is we're in the same hex. So once you see me, you're not going to lose me.
That's right. Yeah.
Now I'm going to get another chance to see you, depending on circumstances.
Right, because we still got to go through a couple of things before before naval combat.
So if you would go to the operation display and please move the clock again.
Oh, is that this one? Yep. Yeah, there we go.
Yep. Now it's
morning.
It's morning. There are songs about this. So now we are rolling for initiative. So I'm going to roll for my initiative. I rolled a 0. I think you're going to get it. This is good for you.
3.
Okay, you got the initiative. So you're up first here. So now finding my carriers or whatever could be interesting for you.
Yeah. So I guess the question this 111 rule comes into play here too, because
Yes.
I might want to get closer to you
Well,
before I do
at
the
this
search.
point, your best shot is probably with your LRA out of Shortland.
Oh, okay. That's these guys
Yeah,
here, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So they're 5 hex range. You got a 2 or less.
Well, let's give it a try. 3, just
missed. Okay. Now you can move your guys. You remember you have advantage movement, so go ahead and make your advantage movement.
These guys will get a little closer.
Okay, now I'm going to try to make a search attempt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's the extreme range of my. Well, I need a 0 or 1 from my carriers. They're looking. Gotcha. So flip your carriers over. That was good.
That's a blue or a green?
1. That's a good question. Only because it's so it was at 5 hex range. I rolled a 1. It's blue.
There we go.
And I'm going to make a detection roll for what's going on with the planes. It's search for naval. It's anything but a 9. I mean, it's daylight. It's like hard to miss.
Up
like
at Moresby.
So everybody's detected in Port Moresby.
Right. And I could still try.
Now you can run away if you like. You can try to leave.
Yeah, I could. Oh, right, because I can't try to detect your task force 1 with my task force 5 because I've already tried with my task force or with my okay.
That's what kept this game. Yeah. So your call. So now it's up to you. You because you have movement now. You can get out of this combat.
Yeah, I could go here, right,
yeah, you can do that
right here. Yeah, and then I might have a chance to bring all my carriers at you at once if
maybe
if things go my way.
Yep, could be.
But we've got Port Moresby. Nobody's moving out of there.
Well, you can move your ships out. You remember it's your advantage movement. You don't have to fight. You can, but you do it anyway because everybody wants to see a naval combat.
Yeah, I want to have a naval combat. Yeah.
There you go. All right, so that was your choice because you have the advantage. You basically saw me, and you could run away if you wanted to, but you're not going to.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're up to air missions. Now, do you have any air missions you want to run? You can still bomb Port Moresby, but you've got I don't
know. If I bomb Port Moresby, does it help anything?
You might get a true quality check that I blow. That would help you.
Right. So I might as well do that. Just it might make the ground attack easier later, right?
Yeah. So I'll tell you what, we know it's going to be a low number. Just roll a die.
Right.
If it's a low number, I'll figure it out.
No, it's a 9. It's not close.
Yeah. It didn't happen.
And I'm not close enough to launch any. I'm not going to launch any strikes against your Task Force 1
because you don't know it's there.
Yeah, that's right. I need to find it first. So that's it. So that's it for my air, I think.
So now we have surface combat, naval combat determination. So let's go to the that operations. The operations display. And I have to put my units on that display when you put it up there.
Oh, operation, which is that? Which one
Again,
is that?
The operation display is the clock. No, that's Pat. It's the clock.
There we go.
Yeah, you see that this little section there? It says
there it goes. Yeah.
So let me get my naval units. Let me see if I can get to that thing. Yeah, I can get. Oh, it doesn't go on there. How do I get my guys on there? Do I have to bring it up? Oh, I guess I have to bring it up too. I don't know. This is. Do you see? Oh, there it is. I have to do it. I have a version of it that when you see it when I'm on my display. So I flip the counter. So there's no surprise because we both are detected, and it's coastal water. So we start at medium range. So there are markers somewhere for medium range. They were on the generic marker thing. I'm just going to keep. There are markers for medium range to keep track of these ranges.
Right.
I'm just going to keep track of it on a piece of paper that we're at medium range for the first round.
Yeah.
Now what
that's
happens
what I got
is
there.
in you get to put in up to 4 guys, but this is a very small battle, so everybody's in. And I can't see any of these markers very well. Let me see if I can make this bigger.
Here. Let's.
Oh, there we go. I got to see the numbers. They're perfect. Oh, very nice. I'll move my guys close. I'm going to move closer to this line.
Yeah, me too. there we go.
And they're all in the line. Okay, so this is because it's we're both detected. It's simultaneous. So we're going to roll. And now your amphib. Actually, I guess they got a machine gun or something. Oh yeah, they have no values.
They got nothing.
So, yeah. So we're at medium range. So your Tenaru is a 0. The middle number is a 0, and the Aoba is a 1. But you have torpedoes, and at medium range you both have 1. So you basically have 4 die rolls you get to make. So tell me what order they are and what they are. Gunnery versus torpedoes, and we'll figure out what the result.
Okay, I'll do the 2 gunnery first.
All right, 2 gunnery first. Fire. No, there's only a 1 gunnery. It's
right. One's
the highest value you have is the Aoba is a 1 at medium range.
That's right, and I rolled a 2.
So that would be a miss. Now you need to roll a 0 for the Tenaru.
Nope.
Okay.
And then I have the
now you got
torpedoes.
You got a torpedo. Either one doesn't matter. They're the same.
They're the same. We got a 1.
Tenaru. Oh, there's a hit, and now
a 6.
So the light cruiser rolled with a value of 1. Rolled a 1, and a torpedo. You scored a hit that doesn't take effect yet on. Oh, who are you shooting at? You firing at the American or the Australian?
I'll just go after the Northampton. What the hell?
All right, I'm putting. I got to see its value. So it's a 5. I'm a 2. So both my guys are 2s because I'm going to put a hit on it. I don't want to forget that it's
a 2, right?
Hit. Yeah, it's a 2. Yeah, there's the first little. You see it changed all the values, but
changes,
it's still a 2.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to roll. The first the Northampton's going to shoot, so we can keep track of that. 0. Well, wait a minute. Now this is exciting. Now let's talk about excitement. This is a critical hit. I rolled a 0. So a 2-0 gunnery at medium range is 1 hit, right? But I'm going to roll the die again for a critical hit because I rolled a 0. Yeah, baby. 5 missed.
None. Yeah.
I needed a high. This one I needed a high number for.
But you still get the hit.
I got 1 hit. So you got to put 1 hit on the cruiser. I wanted to hit the Aoba. Both guys are going to shoot at the Aoba. Nice. And now the Australian's going to shoot at the Aoba. Another critical. Oh, these guys are on the money. So
I came into this fight just because I wanted to show people how it works.
I got a 9. Oh no.
Oh.
So wait, first give the Aoba another hit.
And the critical hit is 3 additional hits on a 9.
Yeah, so basically 4 more hits on. So let's look at the Nachi real quick. I got to see the other. Flip the Nachi over for. Well, first put on the 5 hits. So just give it 5 hits. I want to see what happens in the module. Four, 5. Now flip it over. I want to see what it says. Flip over. Oh, this is great. So 5 hits is a critical hit. So this guy he's not sunk. Well, actually, what it is a cruiser unit is actually one of the cruisers it sank, and the other one is messed up
because they're a pair, right?
Yeah, they're a pair.
Yeah.
So these guys are. He's got no more firepower. I think flip him over now. You can flip him over. I think he's got no more firepower.
Yeah, everything's a 0.
No, there's 0 4s. He still has a 5% chance. All right.
Right.
So that was round one of combat. Now, there always has to be at least one round of combat. Now, at this point, you have the option of withdrawing. So now let's do this correctly. I'm going to try to close the range. You're going to try to open a range. So there are markers. We put a bid in. Okay.
Right.
So I'm going to go close, and you're going to try to back out. I assume with with a crippled cruiser and an amphib and a light cruiser, I would be doing that. So look to the. Where's that stupid chart? Here it is. Go to the left of these two boxes. Yeah, that over there. That chart there. So we're at medium range, and we look at the bids. So one bid is a bidding short, and you're bidding long. No. Are you trying to withdraw or not?
I think I might as well try to withdraw, right?
Okay. So withdraw versus a short is any
withdraw is anything is medium. It says medium with the asterisk.
That's correct. So I get one last shot at you at medium range.
Well, here we go.
So I'm going to shoot at the Nachi entirely. Well, first I'm going to shoot at the Nachi. So I have a one with the. You did get a hit on the Northampton, so they get a one. They're a miss, but the Australians are a 2 or less. They missed, and the Australians though have. Do they have torpedo? They have a torpedo, but only for short range. So it's medium range. I can't shoot torpedoes. Their torpedoes don't go far enough. Only the Japanese have those. So this battle is over, and you have to leave the hex. You have to move one hex away, whichever direction you want.
Right. Take that.
Yeah. Now, I would create another task force, which only has the AO because it can only go one hex at a time now. Its maximum speed is 1.
Right.
So that was the surface action in Pacific War. Did you like it?
I did not like it much at all.
I mean, did you see the narrative? I guess is what I'm asking.
I totally did. I mean, it was cool to do it, but
it was. I told you now. Again, if we were playing well, you would have said, I don't really need this battle, and you would have pulled away before we got there. But it was fun to see. This way, everybody got to see it.
Yeah.
So now, following the sequence of play, which is always most important, there will be no more bombardment because you guys left. But combat could be up to 3 rounds. So this was a 2-round combat.
Right. Your ships need to go back to your display too, but
yeah.
Oh
yeah. I'll clean that up in a minute. How do I even do that? Oh yeah, I see how to do it. Hang on. That was just good, clean fun.
Yeah, definitely. I would have scooted out.
By the way, that was Admiral Crace in history. That was Admiral Crace was the victor of that Battle of Port Moresby naval battle that never happened. Okay, so now we have ground combat. So we're now ground combat. There's a lot less of us than there were before. Although I have 3 and you have 5. So this is a smaller battle than it was before because there's lots of casualties. So it's a 6 versus a 5. It's an 11 column.
Yeah, I'm a 6, right?
Yeah. And it's the 11 column, but I can still get 2 shifts for the terrain. And it's a small battle. So roll 1d10, please.
5.
5. No hits to either side. And was there any viral? Yeah, nobody got hit. So we're still locked in combat. Lots of shooting.
Yeah. Just no hitting.
So far. So now we move forward to, and now things could get exciting for you, which is not a good thing necessarily.
Now it's
now I am
your movement, right?
Yes. So we're up to disadvantage movement, and I'm going to go. So this is where it gets tricky. So you have this range advantage, and if I don't get the initiative, you could end up pounding my carriers very badly. And I
This
can't.
is
Even if I close, I'm too far away because my range is my planes are sevens. Yeah, I'm too far away to get an airstrike in if on this detected guy, because I'm out of range. My planes don't go as far. So you could go 1, 2. All right, so fuck it. I'm just going to do this. So I'm going to go. Oh, I got to do it over here. So I'm moving 1 hex. Whoop. That's not the hex I wanted to move. That hex is where I
there we go. Yep.
And you can search for me, but you only get 1 try, or you might want me to see what I do next.
That was just a 1 hex, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll wait. Yeah. Might as well see what you're going to do next.
Yeah. I'm going to go like that. I actually moved back a little bit. So you can search for me, and I'll search for you again.
I'll roll. I rolled a 0.
You found me.
Find you. Yeah.
Yeah, you found me. So sight detection. A 0 is going to be a green, I guess. Doesn't really matter. Okay, you found me. So now you know this. You know where my carriers are. Again, in a campaign scenario, that might be a revelation of some kind. And this task force is going to go. Hang on, I got to unstack him. He's going to go 1, 1, 2. He's going to shadow you. What happened there? That's really weird.
That's a strange look. Oh,
delete that. Whatever that is. Oh, I see. It's like a marker. Yeah. Right. So I'm going to move 2 around there. So you could make a detection roll for finding me.
Yeah. Here we go. 5.
That might be good. Let me tell you.
It's going to be on the edge.
Yeah. Well, you don't have a spotter plane on. Do you have a spotter plane on the light cruiser? It's got a little plane symbol in the lower part of it.
I think I do.
I know the cruiser doesn't have one anymore because it got blowed up.
No, the light cruiser does not have a.
Oh, so you can't even detect me, but you can use the carrier. You can use the carrier still. 3 hex range, and you rolled a 5. You said.
Yeah, I've rolled a 5. Yeah, use from the shoho. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you missed. It doesn't matter. There'll be a lot of. Yeah, so my goal is to see if I can pick off the AOBA, with my cruisers when you slow down.
Right.
Okay, so we're done with my movement. I'm not making any airstrikes. That's a seaplane base. That could be fun to just blast that thing. Oh, but I'm out of range. I'm 4 hexes away. So. Yeah, I'm done. So we flash through. We're going to flash through very quickly now. Detection. Everybody detection removal unless you're in the same hex with somebody. So everybody flips back over.
That's that. There we go.
And we're now into danger. Now go back to the clock. Move it 2 hexes, and then I just got to see where we are as far as distance goes. Go 2.
Boom.
So. What day are we on? We're on day 6, right? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 left, right? No. Oh no, we're at 21. This is a 21 op. Oh no, we got plenty of time.
That's right. We got less.
Oh no, I was looking at this again. I thought it was 21 op. Yeah, we got plenty of time. So we moved to 2. So now and so we're both well within the ability to get with where we have to go. I'm only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm 8 spaces away from my port, so that's what you have to keep track of. Well, you've got Rebol always if you have to go somewhere.
That's right. Yeah.
So lighting condition. So go back to the operation display, the circle thing, to the left. Move it to that. Now it's going. Now we have to roll a die. Roll a die. We'll tell you what the lighting condition is.
5.
Probably an afternoon.
It's
day
PM.
Yeah. So we have an afternoon. Okay. Now we have to roll for initiative. Here's my initiative roll. I roll a 0 again. This is good for you.
6. All right, I have initiative again.
You do. You do. So, what are you gonna do?
Well, here's my question: if
Yeah.
I have slightly longer range.
Right. If you could get to 4 hexes away from me and detect me, you could launch an airstrike against me.
Right.
But I'm going to get the move. I'm going to try to close the range when I need to. So this is a little bit of cat and mouse here. If I had gotten it, I would have moved up 2. And if I detected you, I'd be gambling that I could detect you. I then would have struck you.
Right. So, yeah. Is there much of a difference in terms of detection from? Well, actually,
You got to look at the chart. I mean,
I'm going to be using my long range. I don't have to use. It doesn't matter about my carriers.
No, you can find them any way you want. You can find them. So you're at 4 hex range from your LRA. So 3 or less. That's your best shot.
Yep. No, a 7.
So you blew that roll. So now that you blew the roll, you may not want to close because that's just going to give me a chance to get you.
Yeah. No, exactly. I'm not going to close. I need to move. I'll switch over to the other task force for a minute. The crippled one can only move 1 hex now.
That is correct.
And these guys will make a run for it, I guess. I guess that I could move my carrier groups farther away from you.
Oh wait! Before you move, by the way, I was going to I'm making a detection attempt again.
Oh right, yes, of course.
Oh, that's okay. I'll just wait. Yep. I found you. So the crippled guy is found. Now I think there's a scenario rule here. Let me just take a quick look.
Oh right.
I think I did this thing so many times. I don't really remember everything that I did, so I have to read. Okay, there's the battle scenarios. No.
It's like the only special rules is the Australian.
No, there's no. Some of the scenarios have like a one-time submarine attack, but
I see. Yeah, it's not this one.
Going for. Okay, so we're where we are.
Yeah. So I guess the question. I'm about to move task force 1 and 5.
We're going 1 hex, and then I'll let you know what's going to happen.
Right. Both everybody's moved 1 hex.
Okay, so I detected that guy. Okay, you can move again. So pretty much you abandoned this army unit on the beaches of Port Moresby.
I did. Only because it's the scenario. I don't know that your task force 1 has any Marines in there to come after me.
No. It's only carriers. It's got the it's the Lexington and the Yorktown.
Yeah. That's it. I've moved.
Okay. So. Okay. So we there's no naval combat. But we are going to have a ground combat first. So we're now back to ground combat.
Yep.
And as you can see, I mean, obviously I played this thing a million times, but most of these phases, most of the time you just go, okay, and you just move along rather quickly. So ground combat again. So it's the same deal. It was column 9, roll the die.
5.
5, nothing.
0-0.
Yeah.
We're just locked in a.
Yeah, it's remember this is at this scale, this is hours of combat. Like,
Right.
this is like,
Yeah.
8 hours, 8 hours, 6 hours of combat. So you're not going to see like, crazy stuff going on necessarily. But when it happens, it can be very dramatic. Okay.
No naval combat. So I think we're now on to
My
your movement. Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to try to get into this space with this surface action group is going to try to sink the Aoba.
Yeah.
Now you can try to detect me, which will help you a little bit.
Yeah, might as well.
Don't roll a 9 and you found me.
0. I really found you.
You really freaking found me. So detection green. Okay. So, but there's no battle right now because
That's right.
I don't have the initiative. So
right. I'll be moving out of there.
And also, by the way, I can fake you out and I can get a surface action going with the show host. So you pay attention to that.
No, that's true. But
yeah.
But depending on who gets the advantage, I could also get an airstrike against Task Force 2.
I'm going to move 1 hex here. And you can roll for detection if you like.
Sure, but it goes away before I get any use out of it, right?
That's true.
So I might as well not.
Okay. So again, you can see how things move along, but I'm only moving 1 hex.
Right. Okay. That means it's time to bring up that.
It's dusk.
Move this to dusk.
Yep.
And also, do we move this forward now?
Oh, you should have done it before we got to the lighting. Yes, should have moved 2. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I thought. There we go. So we're on the next one now.
Wait, go back to that. I just want to see what turn are we on? How many days left? 1, 2, 3.
13 left.
Okay, we're getting there. This is getting close to the pen. As you can see, the Battle of Coral Sea was really something that happened like in a very short moment. This is going to bring that on potentially, depending on how this cat and mouse game works. So the lighting's been done. I have to roll for initiative at this time. I got a 5 this time. It's a little better than a 0.
You beat me. Things are going to change.
Well, maybe. We'll see how it goes. So
it's definitely bad news for the AOB.
Well, yes, there's going to be bad. Well, maybe. I have to roll some dice here. Right. So 1. You can try to detect me if you like.
Yeah, I will. 6. That's probably.
I don't know.
I'm 2 away.
2x range. No, a 6 is a miss. And based on that, I'm going to go up 1 more. And I'm going to try to find you at 3 hex range. I need a 3 or less.
Which
I'm
task force?
I'm looking at Task Force 1, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I missed.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it is good for you, yeah. Now, yeah, it's going to be crazy. So I was within range, but I didn't see you. So now we're up to this naval battle here.
Yep.
Now this is restricted water now. So that's going to be a little bit interesting in that it's starting in restricted water. It's a short range battle. It starts off short range, by the way.
Okay. It's not good for me anyway. It goes.
Well, we'll see. I mean, I can roll really badly, but
that's true.
It'd be nice to see something get killed. So let me get this out of the way. Let me get these guys on here. Now you're going to try to withdraw after the first round, but you have to fight 1 round. Oh, you left everybody. I thought it was just 1 shot. Oh, you left the light cruiser with them.
Oh, wait a minute. Which one? Did I do the? Have I got the wrong one here? No, I pulled out the wrong thing.
Okay,
sorry.
That's okay.
You were. Okay. It was this guy you were after.
Right? Yeah, the Aoba.
Yeah, sorry, I pulled the
Oh,
wrong
you
guys.
can, you can shoot first. You need a. We'll flip it over. I don't think you have any ratings, but let's just see. Oh no, you have. No, you were on the right side. I just can't
Yeah,
see.
it's a O. It's the O with a little 4.
All right, so roll it. Try to roll a 0.
7, really
No,
close.
yeah, you had a 5%. You always have a 5% chance. By the way, that's what a
Right.
0.4 is. It's 5%. So I got a 4 with the Northampton. So let's roll. See if I can roll a 4. I roll a 6. Now I'm going to try to roll a 5 with the Kent.
Oh,
That does it. He sunk.
there it is. He's sunk. Yeah.
There it is. So I got one guy. I got one guy down, and you can get rid of the task force now. Wow, Admiral Craze comes through.
There we go. They're gone.
All right. Well, that's that there are victory. You know, you convert hits are converted into capital ships. I think it's like for the if 10 light non-capital ship hits for the Japanese is 1 like capital ship. You know, in the counting. So
Right.
you know, if I can kill a few more things, you know, who knows?
You get a point. Yeah, yeah. Oh, and that's it for naval.
Yep.
Ground
Now
and
we're up
naval.
to disadvantage. Oh no, we have ground combat still.
Oh yeah, of course we do.
That ground combat's still going.
It's that same thing. We're on the 9. I might as well just roll, right?
That's it.
A 9.
That is not good for you.
Oh.
That you lost 2. Your guys are all dead. You lost 2-0. So they're gone.
Oh.
So the attack on Port Moresby is a total failure.
That is gone.
Australians, yeah. I got to tell you, the Kent sinking the Aoba and the 30th Brigade destroying the invasion is, you know, this is showing up in the headlines in the Brisbane you know, Express or whatever they would call it.
I don't want to see any more of those slouch hats. I've had
I've had
enough.
There you go. There you go.
All right, now it's time for disadvantage movement. So I can.
Yeah. You don't. By the way, you're in range now. You could if you search and find me, you could just launch a strike from where you are.
And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try search right away.
Yep. 9.
Actually, I got a 3.
What was the 9? Oh, that was your.
That was my that was the roll that killed all my invaders.
Right. You killed yourself. Right. 3. So you found me. So this is gonna be good. So detection level. Let's see. You roll 3 at 2 hex range with an LRA. What did you say? A 3? That's
3,
a blue.
yeah.
Not that it matters really, because you know what you're looking for.
Right.
Okay. So now here's the cool thing. You don't have to launch this strike at 3. You could back away a little bit if you wanted to, and then launch the strike. You could do it at 4 range.
Right, and then well, I got to hit your cap in any case, right?
Well, we'll see how it depends if I detect the strike. There's a whole bunch of things that can happen here. There's a lot of drama yet to happen in this. This is like why this game has a lot of, you know, tactical feel to it. Is that we're going to do all that. So
yeah.
Get yourself to where you want to be for the launch of the strike. You got 2 moves. I'm going to try. Even if I detect you, it's not going to matter because, you know, I can't strike you in the disadvantage.
Well, I can't. Task Force 1 is not going to really be able to get away that much. But there we go.
Oh, you don't want to do that.
Oh, because of
if you're sitting like in that hex with a force marker, it'll be like almost automatic. I will automatically detect you.
Yeah. Task Force 1 isn't going to move. There's no good place for it to move, I don't think.
If I were you, I would go to Green Island.
Oh, okay, right, because I can go 2. Right, sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Just trying to help you out.
And
okay, here comes your big airstrike. So why don't you put your 2 planes on by the task force on the map? Yeah, and put them by like near the task force. So I'm going to try to detect your airstrike in daylight. I'm American. Daylight, search for air. 6 or less. This is big. 8. Oh, not good. So my cap is not ready. You got through. I didn't see you coming, and that's not going to be good for me.
So it's just flak and then flak and attack.
No, you get the attack.
Attack first.
Flak.
Nice.
All right. So what do you want to do? You're going to be using 6s here, which is very good. You want to have 1 attack each of the carriers?
Yeah, I think so. Let's try 1 on each and
all right. So let's do the attack on the Yorktown first. 6 or less.
Oh, a 9.
That was a miss. Now 6 or less on the Lexington.
1.
That was much better. much. Okay, so you had a 6. You rolled a 1. Going down, F versus. You got 3 hits on the Yorktown.
Oh yeah, that's a really nice column. Yeah, great.
Okay, so the Yorktown has taken 3 hits, and so has the air units. You know, you caught the airplanes. There were planes in the hangar and all this nonsense.
Right. Some of the planes have to take hits when they're because they haven't launched. Right.
That's right. And so now I do get to fly, shoot some flak. I need a 5 or less to hurt you. Where's this? It is my cursor. I clipped one of them, put a hit on one of them, that's all.
Okay. There you go. Shokaku took a hit.
Well, the plane did. The carrier's fine.
Yeah, sorry. The plane did. Yes, that's right.
Okay, so finishing up the battle cycle. Let's see. We have what do we got? I don't think there's anything else to happen. Joint detection remove. Everybody's undetected.
My planes just go back onto my.
Just land them on your carrier. It's daylight. There's no die roll for it. They're going to land fine.
Right.
And day marker adjustment.
2 days forward, and then it's into night.
And how many more days are there left in the scenario?
11.
Yeah. So let me tell you why we're done. So it's nighttime. There's going to be no airplanes, and I am 11. I'm 11 spaces away from my port, so I'm just going to start moving away. And
right.
And you can't go pursue, and you couldn't catch me until next day, and then you're going to be out of range of your port. So
yeah,
the Battle of the Coral Sea is basically over.
Right. I did a little damage, and that was it.
Well, there was a carrier strike. The Americans got caught flat-footed, but the Admiral Crace sank the Aoba. So there was an exchange of prisoners, as they were.
And in terms of what I wanted to do here with our session tonight, we had ground combat, we had naval combat, we had carrier strike, we had a landing at Guadalcanal.
Yeah. So let me see let's see how this starts. So basically, and this is typical of this, in this situation that you don't have to. So we are online. With a teach. It's 10:30. We started at 8. So 2.5 hours online. We finished the whole scenario basically.
Right.
So when people say it's a monster game, I always go, well, that's because you never really played
it. I think people get scared when they see how many counters.
There is if you want to play the whole war, but
yeah.
What do you think? I don't think there's 40 counters in this scenario.
No. I don't think there's 30.
I didn't count them, but that seems about right. Let me see now. Victory conditions. Okay, so you didn't get a decisive because you didn't get Port Moresby. Must capture solely occupy the end of the turn. Or so you got Guadalcanal and sink or cripple. So you got within one hit of a substantive victory, by the way, because you didn't cripple. You got 3 hits. And you needed 4.
Right, so
So
close.
really close. By the end of the and you didn't sink. No, the Allied must really fulfilling any of their victory conditions. No. Must solely occupy Port Moresby and prevent fulfilling any of their victory conditions and sink 1 Japanese. No. The Allies just solely or prevent them from fulfilling. So this was the historical result of a draw.
Oh, well, there you go. I feel good about that, considering I let those ships stay at Port Moresby and fight it out when they really shouldn't have.
Well, but again, this was a teach.
Yeah.
But you saw a little bit of the carrier cat and mouse that's in this game.
The whole thing about the risking about whether you're going to get the advantage or not, if that's just a 50-50 thing pretty much. If you bet on you're getting the advantage, and you don't, you can find yourself in a real spot.
Well, it depends on how aggressive. I always say, how lucky, how aggressive do you want to be? But hunting down the Aoba felt good. Sinking a couple of Japanese cruisers at this point in the war would matter.
Yeah.
The Lexington will go home and get fixed. So remember, when you're playing the campaigns, even there's repair. There's a repair cycle, so you get to fix the Yorktown would get fixed. I'd be getting more airplane replacements to fix the air group. Those are the things that occur in that's the game.
It felt good to have to put a few hits on Lady Lex. That felt like there we go. So before we wrap it up, if anybody has any questions about what we just saw, but that I learned a lot. I was one of those people who was a little confused about when the day marker moved, and now I've got that all straight. It's all good.
And as you can see, because of this going home thing, in most battle scenarios, you're only going about, there might be a little bit of, like, when you get to the point where you got to start heading back to port, there might be one last exchange, and then it's over.
Yeah, exactly. So if it's a 20-turn scenario, it's actually only going to go about 10 turns, maybe 11, unless one side's got a port somewhere closer that they can get.
And also, what made it end so quickly, because it ended on a night cycle. It was night, so that means the carriers are going to be able to basically separate, and there's no chance they're going to they're going to get back together. And that's really the nature of the Coral Sea or any of these battles, is that they did some maneuvering, but once they got the action was very like a one-day thing. It was like they collided. There might be one. It was rare that there was a second strike against a task force.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that was it. But that's why I feel the game is a very good simulation of what it's supposed to be. It feels like you read the account of the Coral Sea. That was very much like the Coral Sea.
Right. That thing of when you read those accounts, it's like that one big strike and everything happens, and then everybody's gone, and it's, can we find them again the next day or not?
And then it's over, because the fuel and all that stuff, they have to pull back.
Yeah,
and also
absolutely.
If you lose a lot of planes, great playthrough. A few things that will warrant a second go through. Thank you, gentlemen. Oh, well, you're welcome, Jonathan.
John, yes, Jonathan Dyer, yeah, from Australia. He's your man.
Hey, the Australians. The headline of this was the Australians were the big, the Australians were heroes in this particular playthrough.
They certainly were. I thought I was coming in to Port Moresby, and I thought I was going to, kick ass and take names. It did not happen that way.
I mean, it's a five quality unit is so the standard. So this is an interesting part of the game. In the bigger game is you can only replace. You can only build units of the strength of 4, and that's how you get engineers and all that kind of stuff. You can build those with replacements straight up. units that are, and you can build for, there are a lot of divisions that are 4s or less. You could fix them if they're killed, but a 5 unit or like a Marine 8 unit, if you let the unit get destroyed, it's gone for the game.
Right.
But you can put replacements into a unit. If you pull the unit back, you can build it back up again as an 8. So there's a whole sequence of how you manage your force. Like it's very rare for me to send a Marine division in. I usually send some of its regiments in, and I leave part of it, the base unit back, so I can rebuild it in case the regiments don't do that well.
Right. Well, I just felt with with the Courier unit as well, the Marines on top of it. I just thought I had a better chance, but that thing of having to have your strength on the invasion turn, makes it a 1-to-1 on the beach.
Beach landings were very bloody in the Pacific, but what's important is the game allows forces to fight with each other over time in the same hex.
Right. Yeah, like we did. We had at least 3 or 4.
Now, if you're playing the campaign, so one of the things that's different about this in the Victory Division, there's a thing called you would only had like 2 attacks, and then they would have deactivated there, and but this is a battle scenario, so you don't do all that stuff.
Right. Yeah. Right. Of course, because they're not being supplied for days after days after days.
No.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, Mark, I think that was terrific. I won't keep you up any longer, but this was,
I'm fine. I took my the Advil works. The ibuprofen. I don't feel. Right around 9:30, I'm saying, this is starting to hurt again. And as soon as I took the ibuprofen, you got to manage it. But I'll be able to get some sleep tonight.
That's.
And my brother's a doctor. By tomorrow afternoon, this will be over. Because it's not a toothache. It's that they stuck needles in my gums. That's really what hurts.
Yeah, exactly.
And your body heals from that.
We'll do this again another time with another game. I think it went really well.
Yeah. Well, again, have you ever played the Empire of the Sun? I can't remember.
I've played the South Pacific.
That's fun. You see that you can, now that you've played Pacific War, I think you can see some of the DNA that is what makes Empire of the Sun rock.
Yeah, absolutely. For both games, and it's no big surprise, but the whole business of range, of the radius of the fighters and the spotters is just critical.
Well, most people get very excited that it's the Pacific War, it's carriers. The carriers are just the airfields that move around with the planes. That's the carriers are the ability to bring planes beyond the range of land-based air to go grab another airfield so you can bring forward land-based air. But the Pacific War is an air war at its core, and the naval stuff is just there to help you advance that.
I feel bad for the Navy. I had a guy on my Discord a bit ago, and he's ex-Marine, and he described the Navy as just, a Marine delivery service.
Yeah. Well, my dad was a Navy frogman, so he might disagree. He might disagree with that assessment.
Yeah, I think there was probably a lot of sailors that would disagree with that assessment as well. But I thought it made me laugh when I read it.
It's part of that camaraderie of the services.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, I think we'll wrap it up then and let everybody go. But thanks again, Mark. I'll talk to you after we sign off here and
great.
And say goodbye to everybody. But thanks everybody who came out tonight and watched us all the way through. That was fantastic, and I'm sure there's going to be tons of folks who watch this in the days to come as well. These playthroughs always prove to be especially popular.
I guess it'll post almost, because it was live. It'll post almost immediately. I'll just tweet it out and GMT, and everybody. Hopefully, people will get a chance. And like I said, there's going to be a reprint. Anything that changes in the reprint will be available free online. There's going to be rules and scenario booklet stuff.
Right.
There's going to be no counter changes or map changes, and there's no cards in this game, thank God. So Charts and tables are the same, all that kind of stuff.
So if we want, we'll just be able to download a new rule book, and if that's all we need, right?
And the scenarios will have. There's already when they did there is a China version of it, believe it or not. So I updated the scenario book a while ago for that, but I even have a few more upgrades. So the scenario. Well, what happened was because of this the China expansion for Empire of the Sun, which is going to be on the P500 soon, I got access to very nice Chinese fellows who can read Chinese. And so the setup now in Pacific War for the China front is now been tied back to actual Chinese research.
Right. So you got more specific OOBs and whatnot.
Well, more importantly, where the hell was everybody?
Right. Yeah. Right. Not what they were, but where they were. Yeah.
It's the where. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. I'll hit the button and say goodnight to everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Thanks for watching.